Take your lawn mowing up a notch with a Gravely. See the full line at your local dealer.
Women's history is our history. We've been here every step of the way in agriculture and business, medicine and science, invention and spaceflight. Women's accomplishments have helped shape this country. This month, let's recognize our contributions.
The Fanatic is part of the Beasley Best community of caring. For more information and ways you can help, visit 975thefanatic.com/caring. That's 975thefanatic.com/caring.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Because there's just been stories that we haven't been able to ignore. And look, there's some today that we'll get into, but that'll be later. We'll start with an Eagles-related topic, something that you brought up yesterday after the show that I think is a really interesting thing to talk about because the topic itself is interesting, but it's also going to be hard because you are basing one off of something that we've already experienced, and we're projecting the other side of the argument, if that's what it will lead to. And it's about the players that have since exited the Philadelphia Eagles. We know that Reed Blankenship is going to the Houston Texans, and we know that there have been other exits. Nakobe Dean to the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of people are upset to see Nakobe Dean leave. And then, of course, Jalen Phillips getting paid as much as he did by the Carolina Panthers. Those have been like the three key names that are leaving the Philadelphia Eagles. As you mentioned, Dallas Goedert. We'll keep you on Dallas Goedert watch throughout the course of the show because that dead cap kicker, I don't know what time that kicks in at. I don't know if it was midnight. I don't know if it was 12:01. I don't know if it's noon later today. I don't know. We don't know the timing. We just know it got pushed to today.
But we know it's pushed to today, and we know there's a little bit of anxiousness about it.
Yeah, so they gotta get this done soon if they are indeed bringing him back. But the players that we know so far that have left, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, and Jalen Phillips, what the impact will be of their absence in 2026 compared to the players the Eagles lost last year, John.
Yes, and there's the problem. The idea is that last year we talked about guys, and I think we cavalierly said, who's leaving? Okay, we can replace them. We've got the guys in-house that can replace them, that can handle it. Look, you weren't going to pay the kind of money that guys get in the free agent market after you win a Super Bowl.
Right. Josh Sweat got
you weren't
paid.
You weren't going to pay Josh Sweat that.
Right. Milton Williams got $100 million freaking dollars by the New England Patriots.
The Milton Williams money wasn't going to go there because of the fact that you knew you were going to be paying Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter down the line.
Right.
Period. So you had to let that go. The Josh Sweat money, you could have seen them paying Josh Sweat if they wanted to.
It was doable, sure.
It was doable. They chose not to. Last year, did they miss Josh Sweat? I think they did.
Sure.
They had to go trade for Jalen Phillips.
8 weeks that he shows up.
No, I got you. I got you. Believe me, I banged that drum. But they had to go and pay for Jalen Phillips to come in here, which ended up being a rental, but they're going to get a third-round pick back.
Sure.
As long as they're not said. So it ends up being hardly anything. But to me, it's the idea that I'm looking at who they've lost this year, and I'm looking at it as much more significant loss than what they had last year.
Really?
Yes. Because of the fact we have an injured linebacker that we don't have any idea what Jihad Campbell. We don't know what Jihad Campbell is. Jihad Campbell was people. I think people are overvaluing what Jihad Campbell did last year. I don't believe Jihad Campbell came in here and had this man. He showed you immediately that he's ready to step in.
I think he showed us that he's an NFL player.
Oh, no question.
And he fit right in. And look, Nakobe Dean played better, right? Nakobe Dean stepped in and played better.
Nakobe Dean has played better whenever he's played. Whenever he's been healthy and played, Nakobe Dean's played better than what we've seen out of Jihad Campbell so far. Nakobe Dean, immediately when he comes in, makes them a great run defense.
Yes.
So Jihad Campbell, we don't know what he is yet. So I look at that as like an incomplete. Then he's injured again with the shoulder again. And that's what caused him to drop in the draft. And then Reed Blankenship, and we say it, what Reed is, and I know that you we joke with you as, oh, he hates Reed Blankenship. He doesn't hate Reed Blankenship. But the idea is that you don't value Reed Blankenship the way that Connor and I did when he was here.
No, but I would have paid him the $8.5 million.
And you said it. The morning that it was all opening up, we looked at that list, and when we were looking at 10, when the talk was Tim McManus was his numbers were out there, and there were other like $10 to $12 million.
I was
range.
out, 10 to 12 out.
And Connor and I were both pretty much. I think we were both pretty much. You were in at 10, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Connor was in at 10. I was out at 10. He got 8.25. I was disappointed with that because I would have paid that to bring him back to solidify that.
Considering the unknown after him, right? Like Jihad and Nakobe Dean, at least you had Jihad Campbell. Jalen Phillips, you at least have for now Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt. I imagine they'll be in the market for another edge rusher. Like, I think that's kind of like the worst kept secret in the world. You have no idea what they're going to do with safety.
Especially when you go and pay Reek Woolen $15 million.
Yeah.
Which would have paid you 2 years, pretty much, of bringing back Reed Blankenship. I honestly would have said, hey, cornerback 2, Adoree Jackson wasn't good enough. But losing Reed Blankenship, I think, could end up being a bigger deal at $8.25 million until I see what they do there. He is also, too, you got the guy at linebacker and you got the guy at safety that were calling the defense. They were the guys who were calling the defense. They were the guys who were directing all that traffic. And they're both gone, as yesterday Andrew Pacheco talked about. Who's doing that now?
Right. It's going to be interesting to find out.
This is the guys they've lost this year are a bigger loss than the guys they lost the year before. That concerns me in a big way until I see the replacements that they've got. But this whole Reek Woolen thing, still to me, that $15 million is just going to eat at me a little bit because not only because of the red flags with Woolen out of Seattle that continue to just be bigger the more digging and research I do. The idea of I think you could have said secured one of the holes and had it not be a hole.
All right, so our question today, 610-632-0975. Which losses will have more of an impact? Now, we know the impact that 2025, the players that left after winning the Super Bowl made because we saw the season play out. We do not know how this season's going to play out just yet, so you're going to have to project a little bit. I'm going 2025 because, A, the edge rusher, as you mentioned, having Josh Sweat, at least that guy that you know is there. Even if he's not putting together the sack totals, he was on the field all the time, right? Josh Sweat was always available. Nolan Smith not available, which is why you have to have Zadarius Smith sign, and then he retires, and then you have to beg Brandon Graham to come out of retirement, and then you have to make a trading a third-round pick for Jalen Phillips. Not that Josh Sweat is Myles Garrett, right? I never really was the biggest Josh Sweat fan, but I knew that he was going to be there. I knew that it's like Aaron Nola.
He was going to be there and he was going to be there for half the season where you got real production.
Right, statistically.
And I'm not
but
trying
he's
to be
on the field
a jerk
and
to him, but that's the honest truth.
Milton Williams, now maybe this is because of how wrong I was on it that I'm saying 2025. When he signed with the New England Patriots, we talked about it yesterday. I thought he needed to send $1 million just to Jalen Carter himself, saying, here you go, you're still on your rookie deal, and you just got me paid because of what I was able to do next to you. He went to New England and was exceptional. He was fantastic for the New England Patriots. Not that you don't have players to replace him. You do in Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and you got a lot of impact from Moro Ojomo last year. So it's not like Milton Williams' impact was felt all that much, but the dude's a very good player. Like, you lost a very good player. You weren't going to pay him. I was okay with them not paying him, but you lost a very good player. And lastly, one name that we didn't mention, he was a cap casualty, even though there may be more things behind the scenes, my man Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I thought they felt that impact a lot last year at times, especially when Drew Makuba was struggling as a rookie. Then he started playing relatively well, but what happened? And what's been his story since college as well, like Jahad Campbell's? Injury. And I know that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson would be out there, and that guy makes Reed Blankenship better. And that
absolutely does.
That guy also impacts games.
He's also a guy, though, that the locker room was not sad to see go. The thing is, though, you have to decide is that, and again, it's just as you look in the NFL, and so yesterday I was scanning and I'm going like, when you see guys leave teams and go get paid by another team and go and watch all the congratulatory notes from teammates saying on socials, go get the bag, go get it. And then you watch guys that leave and it's crickets. Nothing.
Or he goes back and forth with Darius Slay on social media.
I mean, like, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, nobody within the Eagles was going, dude, go we're going to miss you.
I just look at the results. Two Super Bowl appearances.
No, you and I do. No, you and I do because we didn't have to deal with them on a daily basis.
Right, exactly.
We're not his coaches. We're not his teammates. And that's a different thing. I get you completely. I wish CJGJ was here.
Yeah.
I wish he was here.
This city loved him.
I wish
that's another thing.
There are things that I wish you could do as a team where you could have guys around just for their talent. But when guys are flaming pains in the backside,
sure,
you can't. And he was one of those guys. And it caused a lot of problems for a lot of people.
All right, so the conversation might be tough because you know the impact of the players that left in 2025. We don't know the players and the impact yet of 2026. But where do you think it will be stronger? 2025, 2026. The names in 25, we mentioned it. Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So far here in 2026, players of note, Reed Blankenship, Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean. What do you know? 6 players on defense.
See, to me, but we all knew that it was going to have to be the star players, the ones that Howie hit on. When you hit in the draft the way that they did, you have to free up the cash to be able to pay those big boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you want Jalen Carter, right?
Yeah.
And we all do. We all want Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I'm glad that nonsense got squashed by Shefty
And we love Jordan Davis. And we love the fact that we're gonna absolutely want Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell to get theirs. So Zach Baun already got his.
Yes.
So the key components of the defense got to be paid. And now you just got to be able to then have cheaper parts that come in through the draft and supplement those guys. And then hopefully then spend the money on the offense.
Oh, I forgot to mention the name, Darius Slay. Another guy.
Darius Slay was Darius Slay was a guy, though, that you and I, again, there's sometimes
I like a lot more than
it's so weird. Yes. It's so weird is that sometimes you and I can be in complete disagreement, but there's other guys who are like complete. I loved Darius Slay.
Yeah.
Like I knew
that he went out there and he was going to do his job. Like
and it wasn't necessarily going to be. It wasn't going to be Quinyon Mitchell,
right?
But it was going to be really, really solid.
By the way,
I'll take it.
You mentioned Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, how the locker room probably wasn't the biggest fan of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. The locker room loved Darius Slay.
They did,
and I felt like that impact was felt last year.
Even when he called guys out on his podcast.
Yeah, nobody actually. We had more of a problem with it than the actual players.
You are 100% correct on that. Like we took more issue with it than they did. They never. In fact, no one ever took an issue with it publicly at all.
I never heard a player complain about Darius Slay except for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And well,
there you go.
All right, 610-632-0975. Also, some nuggets, some news from yesterday. Landon Dickerson.
Okay.
Reworked contract. So that was a really interesting note. Jeremy Fowler puts out the tweet right around 12:30 yesterday that the Eagles and Landon Dickerson agreed to revise this contract to 2 years, around $36 million. He was previously due $39 million in 26 and 27, but can hit that with 2027 incentives. He's due $15.7 million this year and is no longer under contract in the 2028 season. John Kincade, we've been talking about this story a lot, about whether or not he was going to return this year. You're reading the tea leaves.
Yeah, yesterday we were talking about it back and forth, and yesterday on the show, I even hesitated and laughed a bit, not laughed a bit, but through the uncomfortable laugh, because I said to you yesterday on the show, I said how close Landon Dickerson came to hanging him up.
Yeah.
And I'm confident to say to you that Landon Dickerson came much closer to hanging it up than Lane Johnson did this offseason. And in that case, now we see this restructured deal, which means here's how it's set up. He helped the Eagles out yesterday. By this restructured deal, this really helps the Eagles out down the line, because this allows Howie to plan out his future and plan out the Eagles' future. But, folks, what it tells you is he's not playing in 3 years. He's not playing. He may play 2 more years. And when I say may, I'm saying may in capital letters. He may play 2 more seasons, but the way the contract and everything is set up, he may play 1. And what I believe is going down and, dodging the Medellin drug cartel to hopefully get yourself healthy. He's doing everything in his power to try to give it one last run at it. And I say one last run at it. If he's healthy and he has a pretty good year and he gets himself back out there, I would imagine he maybe would give it that extra year, and that's the way he structures the contract. But it's not going to be 3. This is going to be Lane. Lane might be. How long's Lane going to go?
Right.
This is where the worry is to me.
This could be the last year of both, for all we know.
Here's where I worry about the when you talk about Super Bowl windows. Lane Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson. I worry about those 2 components and what that means, and also too, you got a beat up center.
Right.
That is the biggest fear to me. That 2026 is so critical to cash in and to do something.
Good thing for when they do get the next offensive lineman, they have Jeff Stalin.
Oh, no, they don't. They ran him off. No. Nick Sirianni ran him off.
No, wait.
Nick Sirianni ran him off.
Forgot about that. They don't have the guy that's helped build the offensive line.
Nick Sirianni ran him off for his best buddy, who, by the way, is no longer here.
Yeah.
Because of the bros. What is it?
They did the arm bar.
The arm bar.
Man.
Because of Nick Sirianni and his best buddy.
Can that be a statue outside of the link? We got the Nick Foles, Doug Peterson statue. Can we have the arm bar statue?
Well, good. I'm glad to see you veto that, Connor, because it's disgraceful.
If Landon Dickerson retires, in case people don't know his timeline of injury events, like
he had 3 in college.
You would get it, right? Like, remember how last year we talked about Embiid, and I was like, would you blame him if he just said, I'm done, right? Because of the countless injuries that he's had. Landon Dickerson, 2016 in Florida State, torn ACL. 2017 right ankle injury at Florida State that ended his season. 2018 Florida State missed most of the season with a left ankle injury. 2020 Alabama tears his ACL during the SEC championship. His rookie season, he's recovering from it. 2022 missed time with a foot injury. 2023 thumb surgery. And then this past year where, it was nonstop.
He is and Landon is a simple, and I say simple, not in a bad way, simple guy of simple joys in life. A guy who wants to drive his tractor, a guy who wants to be able to mow his own lawn and to weed whack his own property and to just, he's a guy who finds joy in the simple things in life. I don't think Landon Dickerson is saying, dude, I need another $20 or $30 million.
No.
I don't think he'll ever spend the money that he's got.
Right.
And so to me, God bless him for everything that he's accomplished. But I think this is a 1-year window that has the potential to extend to 2, not a 2-year window. I look at it as 1 year, he gives it a go. If it doesn't go in 1 year, if he has another year where he's all banged up and he's limping through things, Next year, we're talking about Landon being gone.
Yeah.
But the way the deal is now structured, that wouldn't even kill the Eagles next year. But if he goes 2 years, then the Eagles walk away clean, and that's Landon Dickerson working with Howie Roseman to do the Eagles a favor.
By the way, I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but this could even be more of a reason why you would trade A.J. Brown.
I think it absolutely is.
I get an extra first-round pick out of it. You need to think about it. You need to draft an offensive tackle. You need to draft a guard, a tight end, a wide receiver.
It's a great offensive line draft, too. It's a great offensive line draft. It's another reason why you've got to restock these shelves. You have to do it. And, look, Lane Johnson, what's it going to be? Right now, if I said to you, 2 more years for Lane? Max.
Yeah.
It's 2 years max for Landon Dickerson. I'm more thinking this is a 1 year, let's hope he's healthy. And then you've got a center who's banged up again. I mean, you could have 3 guys on your offensive line that are needed to be replaced within 2 years.
Yeah.
This draft is mission critical to get 2 pieces for that offensive line high.
I said it last week when you were on vacation.
I wasn't listening.
No, you were on. No, you were away too.
He was on vacation too.
When DeCecco was in on Thursday, DeCecco thought I overstated a little bit, but I don't think I did, man. I think this draft is a state of the franchise importance draft.
Why? Now, I'm surprised that Andrew disagreed with you. Did he disagree with you?
No, he said it was important. He just thought I overstated it. But I mean it. Like, I think this is you're going one of 2 ways,
You certainly are, because you have to decide, too. Remember, all the guaranteed money with Jalen Hurts is after this year gone, too.
Yeah. Like, this draft, state of franchise level of importance draft.
I don't disagree.
All right.
All 3 of us.
Andrew was the only one that disagreed with me.
And what does DeCecco know about the draft?
Nothing.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he knows a lot.
All right, coming up next, another player returns. Arguably the team MVP from last year returns to the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll tell you who. We'll give you an update on the winter teams. One good, one, not so as expected. Also, I got to apologize to Connor Thomas, and I hate doing that. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, championship week continues for men's college hoops. Conference championship games from 11 o'clock this morning until late night. Big East, Big 12, ACC, Atlantic 10, SEC, American Conference. Look, it's going to be great. Hey, St. Joe's plays Davidson tonight, 7:30 in an Atlantic 10 tournament game. It's time to play on the BetParx app. Make your downtime fun time. The only online casino and sportsbook app that I ever recommend to you, and with so many ways to win come tournament time. Plus, they've got all those real casino games, too, with real money, and you can bet on all your favorite sports right there on your phone. Bet pro and college hoops, hockey, another win. How about last night? Ballsy. I went with the Flyers on the money line. The odds were too good, and it worked out for me. The BetParx online casino and sportsbook app, there's always other ways to win. So much fun. New users, too, you got to check it on out. You could get up to $1,000 in daily bonus back in your first 24 hours. See the site for details. The casino bonus has got to be wagered. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. It's tournament time. Get on in it. It's the BetParx Sportsbook app. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles keep making moves. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles continued to make some offseason moves yesterday, both internal and external. They went out and signed veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a 1-year deal for some depth in the secondary, and also added a high upside edge rusher in 27-year-old Arnold Ebiketie. And internally, they restructured the contract of Landon Dickerson and re-signed punter Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal. So Howie was busy yesterday. Earlier in the week, of course, we know they signed Reek Woolen. He talked yesterday about his passion fitting Philadelphia.
I like to go out there, have swagger. I got to have passion. God didn't make me to be a quiet person. God made me to go show off my abilities and play with passion and enthusiasm. And to fit in a culture where a lot of players do play with passion and enthusiasm is going to be a lot of fun.
Certainly sounds like Philly to me. The Flyers took down the Wild 3-2 last night via the shootout. Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. They both have the night off tonight. The Union play Atlanta tomorrow as they each look for their first MLS win. And the Phillies announced that Chase Utley will be their Wall of Fame inductee for 2026. Oh, and in the World Baseball Classic, Team USA, Canada, an elimination game tonight at 8. Don't miss us talking to Hall of Famer Dick Vermile coming up at 8:30. This update is brought to you by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecast with WeatherBug. It's easy to use, so the weather never takes you by surprise. Download the free WeatherBug app today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Kincade Salciunas coming your way now.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It's 6:30 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. It isn't a morning if we don't get people angry, Johnny. Even in an opening segment where I thought we were just chit-chatting, but the fact that I brought up A.J. Brown and he could get traded and it might actually benefit the Eagles having that pick.
It does benefit them.
that upsets people. And my man Cloudfriends, who's a big fan of mine, is asking me to it's 6:30. Hop off Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is all I'll say.
Oh.
And I'm like, he said he's not coming back. Move on. I'm not saying that he's coming back. I'm not asking that he does come back. We're asking a question
Seriously.
about which losses are more impactful. The players that exited the Eagles after the year they won the Super Bowl versus the players that have left so far this offseason. Do you believe they will have more of an impact in terms of their absence than the team that we just saw not having those players, which includes Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because he was on the team?
It's a bigger look. This is a fairly simple one, right?
I thought so.
I think it's fairly simple. That the losses are more significant this time around.
Oh, you think that's simple? I don't agree with you, but that's
okay. I mean, it's
you
more
pick one side, I pick the other. Sports talk radio.
No, it's more significant. This is absolutely more significant. It's just the fact is you got the two quarterbacks in the defense are gone. Two guys calling the defense are gone. So you got to tell me who's calling the defense. Who's doing it? Don't tell me Zach. No, because Zach didn't like to do it. Remember, Zach didn't like to do it. That's one of the reasons Nakobe's doing it.
Well, Zach, tough turnips. You got to do it this year.
Zach even said, Zach's even commented that it's Nakobe's. That's better for Nakobe. Better at it.
Or it might be better for Nakobe, but if Nakobe's gone, tough luck, Zach.
Okay, so you're taking a step
Mr.
back.
Millions?
You're taking a step back in that. So then who's calling the defense? Who's calling? No,
do we have Madden ratings on who calls
Zach's
plays?
telling you himself that it was Nakobe. That's the guy who's being given the job has told you that the other guy was better at it. He's told you that. I'm not making that up. He's saying, look, this is a guy, Nakobe's really good at this. And by the way, the coaches could have had Zach Baun calling it, and instead they had Nakobe calling it.
Or you could have Coop. Coop could do it.
Think so? I don't know. I mean,
he plays literally every position.
He does.
He might line up as an edge this
year.
See,
I think the fact that Coop plays every position sort of counts him out of that. That sort of counts him out of being able to do that. You need somebody in a more stable position where, Reed Blankenship, where it's more stable. Because Coop has so much on his mind because at one point he's playing here, next play he's playing here.
You just got a repeated play.
It's a little different.
Can't be that hard.
Uh-huh.
I could do it. Connor tells me. Basically, everything I say on the air is Connor talking to me in my ear, and I just keep on saying it.
Puppet strings are still attached, baby.
You're just trying to blame. Trying to blame Connor.
Only the smart stuff.
All right. I know we have a poll on this. We'll get to it. Come up in a little bit. I want some of the votes on there first, but some other stuff to react to. Braden Mann is back. This is the show of Braden Mann. All right. There is no other show that likes Braden Mann more than Kincade and Salciunas. We have been Mann's men since this show started 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Because we also understand that special teams matters. I know it's not the sex-driven side of the ball, but we know that special teams matters.
Dr. Avidan Appel's got you all ready.
Hell yeah, he does. And look, Aaron Sipas, the previous punter, sucked.
He was terrible.
We know what bad punters are. We know what good punters are. Braden Mann is back. I say it jokingly, but I also say it somewhat seriously that he was the team MVP last year, especially in the second half of games when the offense literally pooped themselves every single drive and we're going 3 and out. And we only talk about how good the defense was because they kept teams in games, the Eagles in games. Well, you know who had to flip the field position like 8 times a half? Braden Mann had to.
Yes.
He would bomb that sucker down the field. Sometimes he'd pin it. Sometimes he didn't. Sometimes his teammates screwed him up. Which one was it? Was it Latu that touched it in the end zone when it would have been pinned at the half-inch line?
It's terrible.
But I'm glad that they brought him back.
I am thrilled they brought him back. And
it's a staple.
I'm excited the amount of money they spent because I don't think it's outlandish. It is high price for punters.
Sure it is.
But I like it. And he is a weapon.
Yeah.
He's been great. And now I say, okay, you took care of that. You showed that you're putting you're putting good money into special teams. You're caring and investing in it. So now what are you going to do at kicker?
Well, they have good money at kicker.
No, they have bad money at kicker. They have bad money invested in kicker. You've got the worst of 32 franchises. You have the worst kicker in the league.
Bounce back year coming, Johnny.
So that's what you said last year after the worst year in 24.
No, that wasn't me. That was my man in the other room.
It was a leap year.
It's 2 consecutive years of the worst kicker in the NFL and a terrible kicker beyond 50 yards.
Mercury was in retrograde.
It can't happen again.
He can't be. He literally can't be back.
He cannot be back.
I know how he's saying that.
I don't care what he says.
He
right?
Can't be back.
I don't care what he says. You can't have it. He cannot be back. And the fact that Howie's investing in this in a punter tells me you can't do this to us. It can't happen. So we'll see what they do.
Manly men. Braden Mann is back.
Yep.
Quick Sixers Flyers update before I have to apologize to Connor. Ugh, hate it. Sixers lose, no shock, by the Pistons. They were 15-point dogs yesterday. That's what happens when your starting lineup is Quentin Grimes, VJ Edgecombe, Dominic Barlow, Justin Edwards, and Trendon Watford.
When's Embiid coming back?
I don't know. Maybe he's hanging out with Landon. I don't know. Maybe he's getting his
Landon plays.
Stuff.
Landon plays through injury.
Right, yeah, but he's got to get. Maybe he's getting. This is happening during the season. I don't know.
You think he's going over to the Medellin drug cartel also to get spun?
You got 4 minutes from Kyle Lowry, and you did get 9 minutes from Tyrese Martin, not Tyrese Maxey. Sixers lose to the Pistons. They're now 35-31, heading in the completely opposite direction of where you want them to. But the Flyers, you mentioned it in your read. You went Flyers money line. That is now back-to-back shootout wins. So the Salciunas curse is done.
Yes, it's over.
It took you leaving.
It did. I left the country. I came back to the country, and then now that's been fixed.
Because we talked about it. When you were gone, they won via the shootout.
And they've won 3 more since, I believe.
How about that? It took you leaving. So maybe it was John Kincaid's curse.
No,
and
it wasn't
mine.
my curse.
I don't know.
Now, look, and right now, the Flyers, 5 points out of a playoff berth. 5.
Oh, they have reached, I put it on the show sheet, they have reached daily standing check-in day.
Yeah. Now,
the Flyers have.
It is still, even though it sounds good, 5 points is still a long shot.
Oh, of course it is.
It's still a long shot. Now, if things can go well, here's the good point. Teams that are ahead of them, they get to play.
Yeah.
So, take care of business. Tomorrow night, Columbus. Take care of the Columbus Blue Jackets down at the barn. I'll be there tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Big night out. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if how that works out.
They've reached daily standings check-in. Like, that's one of the first things I do every morning when I get in here is like, all right, let's see what the rest of the teams did. Where are they at?
How about this? So the Flyers, just quick thing. Flyers took over when Danny Briere and Keith Jones took over the franchise. They took over a 61-point team. That was the team they got. The first year of their rebuild, they got it to 75 points. The second year of their rebuild, they got it to 87 points. So that's the marks as they're trying to climb that ladder. Right now, they're at 73 points. So one more win, they get to that first level of the first year. They only have to win right now. They only have to win 7 more games to get to last year's mark. They have 17 games left, I think.
Yep.
Is it? They've
played 65.
They're going to be fine. They're going to exceed last year's point total. And you exceed last year's point total. That's 3 years of ascension. I still don't dig the roster that much, but at least they're pointing in the right direction. They're moving in the right direction. I just wish there was a little more talent on the roster.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
And look, it's good, that Vladar injury, man. Right before the Olympic break.
No, the Vladar injury is going to. If they miss the playoffs, it's when they miss Vladar for 3.
Stretch, man.
That's what did it. Because if they just won, if they won 3 more games right now, they'd have 79 points. They'd be right there. They would be right there. They'd be in the playoffs.
Yep. All right, Connor.
And it happened.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I thought you were wrong, but you know what?
Why'd you accept the apology? You didn't even apologize yet.
Well, because he knows what I'm doing here.
He said, I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. It's not that my mindset was off, because I always think about ticketing. I always think about how do we sell the tickets. But you know what? I wasn't thinking deep enough.
You had it backwards.
So on Instagram, we do a lot of fun things. And Dylan, yesterday, Chase Utley, it was announced that he will be the latest inductee into the Phillies Wall of Fame. We're starting to get like the real players, right? Like Jimmy got in, Chase got in. Like we're, with all due respect to
Mike
Manny
Lieberthals.
Trios and the Lieberthal, we're starting to get like the real pride of the Phillies are starting to make the Wall of Fame. And Connor, that was your guess when we did the Instagram video. I said, no way. They're going to wait till he gets into the Hall of Fame to do it so that they can have one big ceremony. But what I wasn't thinking was 3 ceremony.
Yeah, dude.
And that's where I missed because you do the Wall of Fame ceremony that gets people to buy tickets. Then you do the Hall of Fame ceremony when he gets inducted. Then you do the jersey retirement night. So you can stretch this Chase Utley next year and a half into 3 different big ticketing events. I wasn't thinking that deep, Connor.
They're not going to do that into 3 though. They're going to do it 2. The year he goes in the Hall of Fame, they'll retire his jersey.
Yeah, because that's the
That'll
rule.
be the year that they retire. So they'll do that once.
Well, maybe they'll just do 2 different nights. Remember, we've had the story multiple times in headlines. Derrick Rose retirement night with the Bulls.
Gosh.
They've celebrated him like
they've done
50
it so
times.
many times. How many times have we seen LeBron James tribute videos in Cleveland? Like it happens every single time. But congratulations to Chase Utley, even though in terms of Wall of Fame versus Hall of Fame, not even close. But it's cool that he gets into the Wall of Fame. It's going to be another excuse to get to the ballpark this summer and have a good time. So I was thinking this morning, Johnny, when I was driving in, I'm wearing my 2010 Phillies sweatshirt because
I was like, where?
It's comfortable.
Austin Jones wanted to. He said he loves stuff like that at like a thrift store.
Yeah,
Pick up something like that. That's sort of an odd.
Yeah,
one-off.
I mean, I've had this since 2010, and I grabbed it, and it was comfortable because it's cold out all of a sudden again. And I'm thinking about that team, like 08, the team that won. Where do they rank for people in terms of like the all-time, I think back and love this team? Because I feel like they get slighted.
Why?
93 gets more love than 08 from a lot of people. You're shaking your head, but a lot of people.
And I lived it all. I don't agree with that at all.
I don't know if it's recency bias, but like that out of nowhere run in 2022, people still look back at that team. Right now, they've taken a bit of a hit because they keep going backwards.
And they hated that team
up until the playoffs.
Mid-September.
Yeah, exactly.
That team was hated.
Funny.
Like that was the people couldn't stand that team. JT Realmuto, remember, was not. People didn't like him.
People literally did not like him. But not just Phillies, Eagles and Sixers. We talk about a team that did not win. Right? The 2001 Sixers, we talk about them.
If I hear about the step over one more time in my life,
well, you're always going to, John.
I'm just like, come on.
And it's because people love that team. But
yes,
I
it's
feel
one
like
win in a 4-1 stomp.
And I feel like people love that team more than the 08 team.
Which is crazy. I
might be speaking out of turn, but like I feel like that's how people feel.
I think you hang out with a lot of Sixers fans.
That could be it, too.
That 08 team. But I understand where you're getting at. I don't think the 08 team, as a collective group, a very likable bunch. Likable.
I think they are.
I think they are.
See, I don't.
Other than Brett Myers. But
see, I don't think they did a lot to be real relatable as much as other teams do to be
social
relatable.
Social media, big factor.
Absolutely. That's a big part of it. Because remember, that was the very beginning of social media.
Right. All right. Want to hear from people on that. 08 team. The team that won the World Series. Chase Utley gets into the Wall of Fame. Where do they rank, like, in terms of the likability teams of your lifetime? 610-632-0975. Coming up next, well, we kind of just talked about it, but they're not dead yet.
Not.
We update you more on the standings with the Flyers and the text line. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
From the city. the Fanatic app.
It is 6:47 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic, the show that is so clueless about football. I love it. All right, Connor, before we kick everything else off this segment, is the Twitter poll going strong? I mean, I feel like I don't even have to ask that question because I know if Dr. Avidan Appel is involved in Iron Mountain Men's Health that I don't even have to ask it. But just to confirm.
Poll strong.
All right, good. What do we got?
All right, so our question today is our lead question for the show. Which offseason's losses from the Eagles roster will have a bigger impact on the season? 2025 or 2026 are your options. 56% are saying 2026. 44% saying 2025.
Another
and
close poll.
I'm
when I
shocked.
checked as we were coming back, it was 50-50.
Why are you shocked?
I'm just shocked because
I feel like this is a no wrong answer day. I'm surprised that you're shocked.
I am shocked because of the
You're going
fact.
boots in the ground. You're burying your feet in the sand with this one.
I would think this should be a 2-1, like a 66, 67%.
Why?
Because it's just a bigger. It is a far bigger loss. The people who call the defense, it's a far bigger loss. You don't know who's doing these things. These are bigger losses to a team as far as what's going to go on. By the way, the role that a couple of our already got one on email here. Thanks very much to Steph for checking in.
Oh, Steph.
It would not be Coop would not be calling it. From his role would not be calling the defense. He could if he was going to take a more stoic, traditional standing role that
I'm glad Steph
was
knows.
done there. So Steph's saying is that as a coach, Steph is a local football coach.
Okay.
And he goes, Coop would be as moving around too much. Coop has too much going on with his responsibilities that would normally never fall on him.
Maybe it's Drew Makuba.
I'd say no.
I'd say
IQ
no.
player. That's
I'd say
that's
no.
what they were saying
You're gonna
about him
go-
coming out of college.
Yeah, I'd say no. And then
Knows
so
the
you're gonna-
defense. Sidney Brown. How about Sidney Brown leads the defense?
See,
Yeah,
this
just
is
calls
just
it from the sideline.
and more importantly too is that there's a
Vic
reason.
Fangio puts
There's a
helmet
reason
on.
why Reed Blankenship was a captain.
Yeah. And part of the leadership council, Darius Slay talked about
that
it.
leadership is gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. That matters. Nakobe Dean was a guy who they talked about is for the Georgia Dogs on the roster. Even though Jordan Davis is now the leader of the team, they talk about Nakobe Dean was a big part of leading in that locker room for a guy who was injured a lot of the time. I think those are big losses.
Yeah.
I
Could
don't
be.
think it's going to be I think a lot bigger than Milton Williams walking out the door.
Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Chauncey Garner-Johnson, Darius Slay, basically, right? We're doing that versus Nakobe
Yes,
Dean.
I think that's fair, yes.
You know, Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, and Jalen Phillips. 610-632-0975. I updated the poll as we were conversing. Now it's back closer to 50-50. 52% 2026, 48% 2025.
That
So
poll's always working, man.
It
Thanks,
is always
Doc.
working, and it's
It's a very up and down poll.
yeah, it's dueling, the two of them going head to head right now. All right, the Flyers, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
they're getting closer. They're
getting
now
closer.
Daily standings watch. Not only are they 5 back of the wild card spot, they're 6 back of the Islanders.
Yes, they are,
6
and
points.
they have games with the Islanders, so they have
Third place
opportunities.
in the Metro.
They have opportunities with the Islanders head to head, so that'll also be an opportunity there. They've got tomorrow night. You got an opportunity with Columbus, another team that they are trailing, so you got a chance to maybe make some noise there. Look, this is it's nice that I like what you're talking about. It's look at the standings.
Every day. Look,
Just see where they're
the
at.
next month of sports will be fun, right? Like we have first and foremost the NCAA tournament. That's great for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's a lot of fun. But then we've baseball starting later on this month. Like the Phillies start this month. I'm excited for tonight. USA, they should beat the doors off of Great Britain, but after losing to Italy, who knows? Canada, thank you. I'm excited for tonight. Obviously, opening day is later this month.
We're 13 days away.
Yeah.
That's incredible to me.
Flyers are in a push. Sixers, you're just waiting to see what the hell happens with Joel Embiid. And then the draft is next month. Like, we're in a great time of sports right now.
Flyers had 3 against Detroit, a team you're trailing. 2 against Columbus, a team you're trailing. 1 against the Islanders, 1 against the Bruins.
Win them all.
No, I mean,
Never
just
lose again.
Yeah,
Get
just
out there. Get out there and show
win
what
the
you can do
whole
on the way
bleeping
back.
Thing.
So you got plenty of time. 17 games remaining, too. That's a lot. There's a lot of points to be had, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, what do we got on the text line so far this morning?
So we have people checking in on the question about the big losses, and Colby in Central PA is most worried about Nakobe Dean. He says even with him being injury-prone, he's a difference maker when on the field. We don't know what Campbell and Trotter are, and I don't see them trading to get a linebacker. On the other hand, the offensive line depth and replacements is my biggest worry.
Yeah, I mean, look, the depth, you have your starters, right? The 5 guys are the 5 guys, but Fred Johnson, is he back for another year with the Eagles, or is he going to get paid even more elsewhere?
And he wants to be a starter.
Yeah, and you can't blame him. I mean, the guy's putting together a resume in the NFL, so he might go somewhere for more money. They lost the Pryor, they lost Toth. Like, the guys they do have some questions at depth, but don't forget, last year's draft was a lot of those depth guys. You just hope that you can trust them when it comes time for them playing. Like, they did draft guys that a lot of people like, at least people that cover the Eagles. Andrew Check, all those guys like them.
Sure.
What else we got?
We also have someone upset about something we said about Jeff Stoutland earlier. He says, I've texted twice in on this topic.
Okay.
They just brought up Stoutland's name that Sirianni, quote-unquote, ran him off. Again, why hasn't he gotten another job?
Jeff Stoutland is not taking another job because he's getting paid.
Yeah, he's
getting paid $5.2 million to not take another job. He's enjoying life. He's sitting around, and if he goes, what's he doing right now? Jeff Stoutland could have had a job in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff Stoutland could have been the Giants. He could have been the Giants O-line coach if he wanted to. That would have been easily job. He could have had any job he wanted in the SEC.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart would have fired his offensive line coach to hire Jeff Stoutland. They would have hired him at Bama. They would have hired him anywhere. If Jeff Stoutland wanted to work this year, he would have worked. Why are you going to work when you got $5 million coming in? Sit back, survey the situation. Jeff Stoutland will work again. Question where? Hope he doesn't work in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Is someone actually questioning Jeff Stoutland?
Probably.
Yes.
Seriously?
That's why I wanted you
Dude,
guys to
I
clarify.
understand.
We
Seriously.
question everything, Johnny. All right,
Seriously.
coming up next, main topic today, the departures. But we'll also revisit something we talked about yesterday when it comes to the splash. One guy did a deep dive on recent Super Bowl champions, and a deep dive. Johnny and I had
Really
the same
deep.
algorithm.
It's deep.
We go through whether you need the splash or not. It's interesting. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Birds add to the defense. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles continue to make some offseason moves yesterday, internally and externally. Externally, they went out and signed veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a 1-year deal for depth. They also added a high upside edge rusher, 27-year-old Arnold Ebiketie. Internally, they restructured the contract of Landon Dickerson, re-signed Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal. So Howie's woken up. He's got some things cooking. He also signed Reek Woolen earlier in the week, and Woolen talked about some of the new teammates he gets to play with in his introductory press conference yesterday.
You got Q, you got Coop. With me being able to join those guys, I know that we can be able to play different types of looks. To be able to be along those guys and to play with a great front with Carter and JD, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch what the Eagles do the rest of this offseason. Flyers took down the Wild 3-2 last night via the shootout. They still got some juice left. Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. Union play Atlanta tomorrow as they look for their first MLS win. And the Phillies announced that Chase Utley will be their Wall of Fame inductee for 2026. So a celebration of 2008, one of the leaders. Team USA plays Canada in an elimination game tonight at 8 in the World Baseball Classic. And Hall of Fame coach Dick Vermile joins us coming up at 8:30 for some good Birds talk. This update's brought to you by Uber Eats. Philly, you hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you. Coco's Cookies and Creamery. From now until March 31st, get a buy one, get one free deal on a milkshake all on the Uber Eats app. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
college guy to produce. Charity comes in many forms. Kincade Salciunas is back from the break. I wonder what they're going to get into.
I'll get into all kinds of stuff, Ray Dunn. It is 7 o'clock here on this Friday morning. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. Want to start off the segment by giving a shout-out to Cliff on our YouTube chat. Thank you, Cliff, for being a kind person.
Big fan of your bars.
Yes, I'm a Cliff Bar fan.
What is
I know a couple people named Cliff.
And you're big Kevin Durant supporters then?
Is he the Cliff Bar guy?
Yeah, he's a big he's one of the big investors.
I'm a big
Cliff
Union
Bar.
fan, as you guys know, and I know Kevin
you're
Durant's
big,
in,
one of those
involved with the Union. Doop, baby. But thank you to Cliff. Just Cliff's a good person. That's
Why
all
is
I'll leave
Cliff
it
so
at.
kind?
Because he's actually kind. And I'll leave it at that.
That's nice. Thanks, Cliff.
Thank you, Cliff. We appreciate
you, Cliff.
Kindness in the world is a beautiful thing.
It is.
All right, so later on this segment, we will tell you how you can earn a spot in Knockout.
Ooh.
Had to audible a little bit. You let me know. I did not listen to Unfiltered yesterday.
I get to, you see, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm a P1 in the afternoon for Unfiltered because the Schuylkill sucks.
Oh, yeah.
And coming back from teaching.
At that time, too.
Coming back from teaching, I usually get out of class and get to my car around 4:45.
Yeah, you're hitting it.
I'm in North Philly at 4:45, and so I that ride up to King of Prussia and everything, I'm listening to Unfiltered. They did a great job yesterday.
And apparently they did Wall of Fame trivia.
They did yesterday.
Believe it
Wall
or not,
of Fame trivia.
we also were going to do Wall of Fame trivia, but you always have backup plans. And I have
that's
a
what you
backup
do.
plan in honor of Connor Thomas.
Well, you've apologized.
Well, I had apologized.
You've
Today's
apologized
the day
to
of
Connor.
Connor,
You've
man.
done
My
everything.
goodness, you've made me the happiest girl in the world.
All right, so
Telling
we'll tell
you.
you how you can win a spot in Knockout later on this segment. What we started the show off with has been talking about departures. We're going to get into a conversation about splash signings momentarily because somebody did a deep dive of the teams that have won the Super Bowl in recent years. But, Connor, we have the Twitter poll up and running. Of course, 97.5 The Fanatic, the Twitter account. It's strong. Dr. Ivy Donapel, let's remind the people what it is and what the results are so far.
Oh, yeah, it's always strong. And we are getting even closer to that 50-50 mark last time I checked. So I've still got it at 54% to 46%, but that's
close.
It's fluctuating
That's close.
closer. Our question, which offseason's losses from the Eagles roster will have a bigger impact on the upcoming season? 2026 is winning with 54% of the vote, but 46% are saying last year.
Yeah, I think you look at it, and I'm not saying you're wrong to look at it this way. You look at it so much deeper with like signal calling and play calling and all that stuff. I just look at it from the talent perspective. And look, I knew a lot of people would probably side with me because of what we already know versus what we're projecting. But you guys know I love Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I'm not the biggest Reed Blankenship fan.
Okay.
Right? I was a big Jalen Phillips fan, but I was not going to pay him the money that he got.
Absolutely.
And Josh Sweat, we saw the impact of him not being there. Milton Williams, I think, surprised everybody. I think there's Patriots fans that were surprised by what Milton Williams was able to do.
He did a fantastic job
in year
this year.
one with New England with that contract. And I'm also, as you are, a big Darius Slay fan. And even though I think it definitely got better as the year went on, one of the positions we talked about the most last year was cornerback too. And not having that consistent player out there that you felt comfortable with, you felt the absence of Darius Slay for a majority of the season last year.
They absolutely did. And so, I mean, look, I get it. I think also, too, there's people who are afraid. They don't want to believe that this is going to be a big loss. They don't want to believe that this year's loss is going to be as big because that means that, this year's not going to be as good as they want it to be. I think that's part of it, too. A lot of people don't want to accept that this year could be a real dangerous time.
This draft is dangerous, right? It could
it's
either
trepidation, baby.
Keep the window open,
correct,
or I'm not going to say the window will slam shut, but we're talking about Lane Johnson possibly retiring soon, Landon Dickerson possibly retiring soon after the restructured contract that came out yesterday, according to Jeremy Fowler. We're talking about Jalen Hurts' guaranteed money going away soon, so they're going to have to rework that deal. That's going to be a lot of money if he does indeed stay. We don't know the future of A.J. Brown. Saquon Barkley's not getting any younger. You start looking around the defense, you're going to have to pay some of the guys. That means other guys are going to have to leave. This draft is sort of that next wave of can they keep this window open, which is why I stated last week when you guys were both out. I saved my most impactful thing when you're both out. that this is a state of the franchise level of importance draft.
It's mission critical. I mean, it really is. This is absolutely a nail biter. I'm going to watch this draft with trepidation because this is they got to cash in. This has to be success.
Yeah.
This has to be a big time successful draft.
All right, so not only are we going to talk about departures, but we're also going to get into a conversation about Splash. Do you have the thread up if you don't mind?
I
getting the
can,
thread?
absolutely.
So yesterday, we got into a discussion about Splash signings and whether or not the Eagles need to do a Splash signing. So the poll that was strong yesterday was, do you need the Eagles to make a splash move this offseason? And 54%, the majority said no, but 46%, that's a lot of people wanted needed the Eagles to make a splash move. You and I got into a discussion on post-show headlines afterward. Check it out on YouTube. Every single day we do an episode of it. And we talked about how much is that thinking the team needs it versus you just want it.
They want it.
Right.
I think a lot of teams want it.
Like, let's rush to Rally House, get the new player's jersey, right? It was a lot of fun. Can't wait to get the next jersey. And I do think a lot of it's just preference, right? To be excited about something, to go buy a ticket because of it. Football's a little different because that stadium's packed, but you get it. When the Phillies announce a big signing, you rush to, all right, what game do I want to go see
Right,
about? What game do I
this.
want to see the Sixers player at?
Well,
that kind of stuff.
Well, Edge on at Broncos Edge did all this work, and you can follow the whole thread if you wanted to look at it. He looked at the last 7 Super Bowl winners because the people in Denver are freaking out that they're not going out and making any kind of
they
splash.
haven't done anything.
And they feel like they were close to getting to win a Super Bowl, get to a Super Bowl and win it, everything.
That's also the talking point for New England, going out and getting a top wide receiver, because look at how far we got with not the best wide receiver group in the NFL.
So they looked at the last 7 Super Bowl winners and how many external transactions that they made that contributed to the season that helped them to win the Super Bowl. So right now, this would be like looking ahead towards like next season, but it looks back at the last 7. And they looked at like the Seahawks last year. They went out and got Sam Darnold. Huge impact.
Worked out for him.
Josh Jones on the offensive line. Big impact. DeMarcus Lawrence. Huge impact. Cooper Kupp. Huge impact. Eric Saubert, tight end. Impact, but there. They traded Geno Smith. They traded DK Metcalf and worked out. They look back at the Eagles when the Eagles won the Super Bowl that they did. Zach Bond, Saquon Barkley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson in free agency. All 3 huge impacts.
Don't forget the boys in the draft with Quinyon.
Cooper, Quinyon, Jalix Hunt.
It's true.
Yeah. Now, I'll also
Like it
mention
is.
nobody thought at the time Zach Bond was a splash.
No, I understand,
Nobody
but
thought
these are like huge. No, they're saying these are huge impact guys.
Yeah.
That when you go and they go back and they look the year afterwards, look at the Super Bowl champion and say, okay, what did they do? So then you go past it. We'll just go back one more. The Chiefs the year before, the Chiefs team that won the Super Bowl the year before. Juwan Taylor on the offensive line, huge contributor. Richie James, wide receiver, did like pretty much nothing to me. Like that was nothing. But that was a Chiefs team that had Rashee Rice was a draft pick, a big contributor. The Chiefs 2023 team is the only one that really didn't manipulate much, but they had been to 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Chiefs, you're right.
They're different. All the other teams went out and did stuff.
I imagine the Rams are one of those teams.
Matthew Stafford acquired via the Lions. Sony Michel acquired via the Patriots. Going on out there. Tutu Atwell, Ernest Jones, Bobby Brown, on the defensive tackle position. The Buccaneers, when they win the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy going out there and getting. Trade for Rob Gronkowski. Drafting Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, you look at all the teams that win Super Bowls, and there's a distinct trend, except that one Chiefs team that had won 2 Super Bowls and lost one. That you go on out there and you have to hit, and you have to hit big.
Yeah, absolutely have to. Now, look, the draft picks are a big part of it, as Connor mentioned. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Like if you're drafting, literally the runner they were both top 5 finalists for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Quinyon Mitchell being the runner-up. Cooper DeJean was a top 5 finalist. That goes a long way, and that also helps you sustain success afterward. But to your point, I mean, you can't really debate that. Now, you can say other teams have, quote-unquote, won the offseason. Like the Chicago Bears won the offseason last year. They made the playoffs, and their trajectory changed. When they won the offseason last year, they didn't win a Super Bowl. But what you're seeing is some of the teams with maybe the more exciting off seasons, and a lot of the excitement is because of the names that you're acquiring, which is good players. They've reaped the benefits from it recently.
They have. And it's one of those things where I would have thought this was wrong. And that's the reason I wanted to really get into this
because we're scarred
discussion.
by Dream Team.
I was just going to say.
Because we're scarred by it.
And
Like,
there it is.
We have the all-time outlier, right, where they won. The Eagles won the offseason. They had a Hall of Fame offseason. Somebody calls it Dream Team, Vince Young, and it went as horribly as it did.
And I would have been the person to say to you, this isn't real, this isn't legit. I wouldn't have believed this is the way that this turns out. So to me, when I read this, I was absolutely fascinated by it. Because it is true that I think things can work out really, really nicely for the Eagles, but I need some splash. I need some splash, and I need something. I need something, and it doesn't have to be the splash. Doesn't have to be like a huge name necessarily, but I need some big moves. Dallas Goedert coming back would be one, by the way, that would make a big difference to me as far as making my weekend feel a little better.
Yeah,
that would be big because to me that's a move. That's still a move. That's a decision that they make that I think is mission critical to them finding success down the line.
And it's going to have to happen today, right? Like,
no, it has to happen today.
Like, it has to. You don't want to have $20.5 million of dead money.
No. And the thing is, why not have it be active live money with Dallas Goedert? Like, why would you want it to?
Live money sounds better than dead money.
It is. I would say so. That's very good.
That's a good point,
What are you,
Johnny?
Jim Cramer? That's very good.
All right, you can text in at 610-632-0975. What we're wondering is which losses will have more of an impact, the 2025 players that exited the Eagles after they won the Super Bowl or the players that have exited the Eagles so far this year. It's amazing. Both years, we're talking about guys on defense. There's not been an impactful offensive player that has left the Eagles.
You're getting choked up about it,
That's
too.
where all the money is right now, and yet the defensive side of the ball has been the one that's been winning them the majority of the games. So we'll get to our text line soon, 610-632-0975. The other topic that we brought up, Chase Utley will be inducted into the Wall of Fame this summer. It was announced yesterday.
By the way, there was a big discussion on the on Unfiltered about it. He's being inducted onto the Wall of Fame. Okay. That was their whole. They were having the big thing. Is people were like, "Is he into the Wall of Fame or onto?" That was their poll. That was their poll question too yesterday. And there was big debate whether he's in or whether he's on. They tackled the tough issues.
Future Wall of Fame
Unfiltered.
member Chase Utley.
I like the way you said that.
That's how I'm going to go about saying it. Future Wall of Fame member Chase Utley. And it made me think about that 08 team and how much, I love them because that was the first team I saw win a championship. It was for a lot of people the first team they saw win a championship. The reason why the 01 Sixers will always have a special place in my heart is that's the first team where I said, wow, look at how fun this is when my team's doing really good. And then obviously I was blessed. We were all blessed by the Eagles' run after that. And so we're wondering, where does that 08 team rank in terms of likability for you? Mopar chimed in earlier on YouTube saying 93, that team was like your next door neighbor. 93 was your drinking buddies. Now, I'm not sure where Mopar ranks 08. Oh, here you go. He says 08 is your office coworkers that came to get the job done and go home feeling like they had a good day for the company.
See, this is where you guys can't relate to this. Like, you guys are just too young.
Yeah, well, the 93. Yeah.
Mopar is exactly correct. And that's where I say is that the 93 team had such a more relatability factor. And I think that's what you feel, where people like the 93 team because the 93 team was so much more relatable. I didn't find and maybe I used the word likable before. I think the 93 team, though anybody who had to go into that locker room, like I did back in the day, it wasn't a likable bunch, is all I will tell you.
Because you had
it was
more
one of the most. I had to go with a microphone and go and get sound and everything, and it was an unlikable bunch led by Jim Fregosi, who was one of just unlikable. But it was to me, the 08 team, and I was in that locker room often, especially when they would come through Atlanta, I'd always stop in, see. They were like businessmen. They were businessmen. The way they carried themselves was very businesslike. There wasn't a.
I thought Jimmy Rollins came off as a likable person.
No, but they weren't a.
Chooch?
But they were.
Shea
Chooch was
Happy
absolutely
man.
fun.
I love
But they
Chase,
were not. They
Chooch.
were a very business-like bunch when you compare them, because the comparison we were talking about was like the 93. They're nothing like two completely polar opposite ways of going about your business.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one's better than the other.
Right.
But by the way, I prefer the way the 08 team was by a mile.
The Playboy Mansions were business-like than the 93 Phillies.
Oh, my gosh, Connor, you can't even imagine. Like
if that's the bar, then everyone's for business.
Yeah, but the thing is this city and the relating to and the 08 team doesn't even scratch.
That's the thing. Like where, 08 with, and look, it doesn't have to just be Phillies, right? You have the 01 Sixers is one of the more likable teams of all time. You have the obviously the Super Bowl champion Eagles, both 17 and the 2024-25 season. Those are likable teams. I love the 2017-18 team. Like, I love them. I love BG, love Malcolm Jenkins, love Fletcher Cox. Like,
right.
That's just one side of the ball.
And it's hard not to like a lot of those guys you just mentioned.
Yeah, like Darren Sproles, even though he was hurt for half, it was a likable guy. Jay Ajayi was a very likable guy. I loved LeGarrette Blount. I loved him when he was punching people in the face at Oregon, but I loved Eagle version.
I got you.
Blount,
right, exactly.
Right? Zach Ertz. Like, there was a lot of lovable people.
There was a lot to like about that group.
On that Super Bowl 52 team, like, that's got to be up there, too, for people.
They're my number one.
They're your number.
The Super Bowl 52 is your number one, Connor?
It's not close.
Interesting.
The greatest sports moment in-game for me is pregame NFC Championship game, Dreams and Nightmares, that video that got posted. Like, that was the best vibes of any Philadelphia team ever in that moment. I'll never love a team the way I love that team.
Wow.
That's powerful. That is powerful. Like, so that moment is what got you.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you feel that you love that team?
They played the Bears at one point that year. They had an interception. They go out and they do the shuffle as like the entire defense. It gets called back.
Yes,
they get a turnover 2 plays later, and then more guys go
shuffle
out.
again.
That team was incredible.
That
man.
team was so. I love that. I love Malcolm Jenkins. Like, he's one of my favorite all-time Eagles. Like, if I get past the childhood love of players, right? Like, Malcolm Jenkins, one of my favorite all-time Eagles. So like,
he's unbelievable.
I get it, man.
And an unbelievable talent.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And absolutely awesome. And his wife and his dog, fantastic. Was when I flew to Price is Right, they were right behind me, and they were look. It's the same thing. That fandom thing, even as a guy older than Malcolm Jenkins has that persona and aura to me. I will always be like that, revered to him, because I feel like he was one of those guys that stirred the drink.
Sure.
That made everything happen. And he fit in perfectly here. And he understood us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he loved us.
I love Roddy McLeod. Like, there's a lot of guys.
Oh, there's a lot to love. Yes, a lot to love.
Brian Dawkins doesn't exist. Those guys are viewed in a totally different way.
All right, 610-632-0975. Which departures will we feel the impact of more? The players that left after the Eagles won the Super Bowl versus the players that have already left this offseason. And where does the 08 team rank in terms of, like, your favorite all-time teams? What do we got on the text line?
John in PHX in says, I saw the defense improve from the Super Bowl team to last year, so it's difficult to say that this year is going to be the more impactful or more worrying year, because maybe they will be just fine and be great again.
They might. They very well might.
Hold on. They improved when they acquired Jalen Phillips, because they were missing Josh Sweat. And look, I'm not the biggest Josh Sweat guy. They were missing him last year, especially when Nolan Smith gets hurt. So
they were missing him big time.
They improved after the trade deadline. I don't think you could say that they weren't
playing better beforehand.
The first 8 weeks.
No, they were not.
Now, they had much difficult schedule first 8 weeks. So that could be what
that is correct.
Saying.
I mean,
to be fair, they played a really difficult first half of the season schedule. All right, here's what we're going to do for your chance to win a knockout. I always like to start with the example question. But what we're going to do today.
Okay.
Is percentage of U.S. adults that say they can definitely do something in terms of everyday tasks.
Connor will say yes to every single one.
Absolutely. Probably. So I'm not really going to give you a question as the example, because I'm kind of trying to figure out how I word this one. But Connor, in honor of you.
Connor will wrestle an alligator. Yes.
You had some car issues this morning.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just the sensor, but we'll see.
So 9% of Americans, according to a study that was conducted this past year, can definitely fix a problem with a car's engine. Only 9% of people. I can't.
I'll
can't.
take the under.
I'm man enough to admit that I can't do it.
I absolutely can't.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the percentage, and I'm going to give you a clue on what that task is. And then you have to tell us what that task is for your chance to win a pair of tickets for the Sixers-Bulls game March 25th and the spot in knockout after that. So
this is interesting because it's sort of like a Friday fun day.
Well, we're also going to get hundreds of different answers. So good luck.
This is fun.
You're going to have to be able to figure out we might not get right answers on some of these. Like
I would imagine we won't on some
there
of
might
them.
be some of them where we don't get an accurate answer. I'll try to lead you to water as much as possible.
Hey, this is a competition, not a charity.
Hell yeah, it is. Some of the days have been charities. I want people to be
that's nice too.
But today, no. Damn
not
it.
today.
I didn't get
today.
paid
You
today.
do.
Next
Today
week
you do
I'll
not.
do charitable work. Today I'm not.
Yeah, today's not
paid.
a payday, so we're not in as good a mood.
All right, coming up next, I'll give you the first question. Johnny and Connor will play along as well after we get some of the texts that come in. But how do you react to something, Johnny, when you totally don't want to believe something? To the point where you get angry that you don't want to believe it. Am I talking about A.J. Brown again? Actually, I'm not. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
I love having a Bradford White water heater on the job for me because a lot of people don't even realize that a water heater is an appliance in your home. And that's one of the things that you don't think of because though if you don't have a good water heater in your home, then you're not going to be able to run your dishwasher. Not going to be able to run your laundry. You're not going to be able to take all those hot showers that you like to take at 4:05 in the morning when you got to get up for work. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best, and they're a local company. So one of the things that Bradford White understands is you. They understand what you demand for your home or for your business. And Bradford White water heaters are fantastic. Plumbing professionals know it. Go to BradfordWhite.com and find a plumbing professional near you, and they can bring the perfect model to your home or to your business. They can install it for peak efficiency, and then you can start reaping the benefits not only financially because they're more cost effective, but they also can make sure you're getting peak efficiency and all the performance you need. I know this. How you heat your water, it does matter. And you want the best, right? Well, then do business with that local company that's going to do the best for you. And that's Bradford White. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more today.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Some help for Fangio. I'm Connor Thomas. The Eagles made some moves on the defensive side of the ball in free agency yesterday, going out and signing veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a one-year deal for some depth, and also added a high upside edge rusher, just 27 years old, is Arnold Ebiketie, who helps with that position where the Eagles desperately needed some depth. Internally, they restructured the contract of Landon Dickerson, re-signed Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal. Of course, earlier in the week, they went out and signed Reek Woolen, formerly of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks. He talked about his excitement that his passion is going to fit in with the city of Philadelphia.
I like to go out there, have swagger. I got to have passion. God didn't make me to be a quiet person. God made me to go show off my abilities and play with passion and enthusiasm. And to fit in a culture where a lot of players do play with passion and enthusiasm is going to be a lot of fun.
Certainly something that we respect here in Philadelphia. The Flyers took down the Wild 3-2 last night via the shootout. They still got some juice left. Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. Union play Atlanta tomorrow as they each look for their first MLS win of the year. And the Phillies announced that Chase Utley will be their Wall of Fame inductee for 2026. Oh, and in the World Baseball Classic, Team USA elimination game tonight. They take on Canada. Nobody tell Mark DeRosa. Dick Vermile joins us coming up at 8:30. This update is brought to you by Papa John's. Introducing new pan pizza from Papa John's. Order a medium one-topping pan pizza, just $11.99 when you download the Papa John's app or at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
really not that bad, at least most of the time. Now let's listen to more Kincade and Salciunas before I change my mind.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, it is a Friday morning here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic Fridays with Fadul continues. Amy's going to be in a little bit later today, but Amy will be in studio today. We will be speaking to, who do we have on today?
A Hall of Fame head coach.
Hall of Fame head coach.
Dick Vermile. Thank you.
One of the greatest who,
in an hour.
Everybody in Chester County just is in love with, well, everybody's in love with Dick Vermile, but everybody in Chester County, every place I go into is like, oh, Coach Vermile was him just a little while ago.
In an hour's time, Dick Vermile will join us, talk some Eagles offseason. He also got the award in which I think his award, which was the Musser Eagle Award, Connor, was overshadowed by two bits of news.
We got to say thank you to him because he gave us a lot of content by having that event.
His event led to Brandon Graham announcing that he's coming back for another year and Jahad Campbell's injury thanks to Vic Fangio and the scotch that you think he was drinking.
Well, I think the scotch got to him, which I think is great.
So Dick Vermile has this incredible night for him to honor him, and yet it's Eagles news that comes out of it. What else is new in Philadelphia?
Can you imagine how many times, though, in all honesty, that Dick Vermile has been honored?
Oh, dude, he's
I mean, my gosh, the guy is just
like,
royalty.
Right, put that one in the attic.
He's royalty everywhere.
I'll keep that one there. That one goes in the attic.
No, we'll put this up at the winery.
Yeah. Vermile wine.
Because you got a winery.
All right, before we get back to our text messages, and we will give your first question for your chance to win a pair of tickets, Sixers game against the Bulls and the spot and knockout. Have you ever chose not to believe something so much that you get angry about it? And it's funny
this
because
is interesting is that you get angry about it.
You know, the A.J. Brown thing is a prime example.
Oh, well, this has
it.
just been, this is
but
to the point.
But that's not what we're going to talk about. No need to
Right.
get all upset. That's not what we're going to talk about right now. I hated what had been said 2 weeks ago and last week from the basketball talking heads that cover college basketball.
About what?
That try to do like this whole sanctity of the sport thing about not including Miami of Ohio in the NCAA tournament.
What did you hate about it?
Well, they went undefeated, right? Or they were undefeated, then they finished undefeated. They finished the regular season 31-0. To me, if you finish your season 31-0,
you're in.
You're in. You mean to tell me
you're in? There's
some team that does not deserve to, or that deserves to be in more than Miami of Ohio just because of the conference that they play in.
They are in.
And so
they should be in.
I was angry about it, man.
No, I think you should be angry about it because they should be in. There should be no discussion.
Well,
about that, and there was, by the way.
Well, there was
plenty. Debate about it. Like who goes? So some 18 and 14 team out of the SEC,
yes,
deserves to go.
It's a joke. That's what people will tell you because the conference they play in.
Absolute joke.
Well,
that's a joke.
Look, if this is the college football playoff and we're talking about 12 teams, that's one thing.
It's a different
thing. We're talking about 68 freaking teams. You mean to tell me you can't find a spot for Miami of Ohio? Well, for everybody that said they had to win their conference tournament to get the automatic bid, they lost in round one.
They did.
They lost to UMass yesterday. UMass was 16 and 15, and they upset Miami of Ohio in round one.
And by the way, their conference does suck.
It does. And
their
a lot of people are saying they're much like the Patriots, right?
Oh, their conference is atrocious.
Their season was very easy, and they have Hey, you can't take away the fact that they did win those games, right? Because you could have a bad conference and also be a bad team, Temple Owls. Or you could be Miami of Ohio and take advantage of the conference in which you play in. And that's what they did all season long to the tune of a 31-0 record, right? And to me, I don't give a damn about bids and all this kind of stuff. I still say today they should be in the tournament. But for every talking head that points out the fact that they played Mercyhurst and only beat them by 5 back in November, that their schedule wasn't all that tough. Are you all worried about Arkansas Pine Bluff? Because they beat them, too.
They had a good club this year.
No, they did
That's a
not.
good club. Dave Dombrowski said, good club?
Arkansas Pine Bluff, let's see what they finished. They finished the season 13 and 19.
Okay, to win 31 games in a row.
I believe you should be in.
I don't even think it's a question. And I don't care what conference it is. Because everybody first of all, you're in a bad conference, and it is a bad conference. But you don't choose your conference. Like, it's not like they can go, yeah, I want to go to a different conference. You don't just get to move conferences. They're a bad conference. And in other years, 31-0 in that conference would have meant something. They should be in.
Yeah, there's going to be like 12 University of Nebraska Southern Easterns that make the tournament that get knocked out on day one. Just put them in.
And by the way, 68 is way too many in my mind.
I don't want them expand. They've been talking about a 96-team bracket.
Well, that's why take the microphone away from Jim Boeheim, who wants it to be 96 teams. There's no reason to have 96 teams, to have teams with losing records in the tournament.
So Selection Sunday is this weekend. It's this Sunday. So we will find out.
Remember how big that used to be?
I know. And we'll find out if Miami of Ohio makes it this Sunday. And people on our YouTube chat are D Flyer says, see, they are frauds. I don't think you can call them frauds for losing to UMass, who they beat earlier in the year, right? Like it was maybe the high of finishing undefeated led to a first-round loss. I don't know. But the people that are the talking heads have been pointing out that they're not a legitimate team all season long. And now they lose in the first round of the playoffs. And every one of those people that said that on ESPN, CBS, any of the coverage now have that much more ammo to work with. They better make it.
Well, it's hilarious to me, the idea of the people. Well, they've been just waiting for that one. Yeah, they're frauds. You've been waiting. They were waiting for that to send that out of 20-0, 22-0, 26-0, 28-0. So ridiculous. You're in.
So bottom line is, like you, all of you who get angry whenever we talk about A.J. Brown because you don't believe it so much that you get angry. I didn't want to believe the whole Miami, Ohio fraud watch so much that I got angry.
Yes.
And then they lost. So we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Again, it's the AJ story though is the most maddening I've ever heard. It's like because people just want to I'm just not going.
They don't want to believe it.
I'm just not going to believe it. I'm just not going to, even though there's a Howie's.
They don't want to believe
Howie's
it.
shopping him.
I don't want to believe it, but
we don't want him. We don't want it to be true. I wanted him to be a good teammate that was going to put out his full effort. It wasn't going to be like, hey, please, can I go somewhere else? I want it to be that way. It's not.
It unfortunately is not. All right, here's your first chance to win a pair of tickets. Sixers Bulls March 25th, spot in knockout, and then we'll check the text line on our topic so far this morning. All right, so I have random percentages of random daily tasks or tasks that you might do throughout the week that people say they definitely can do it. So I'll try to lead you to water as much as possible.
Okay, I like this one.
50% of Americans believe that they can definitely do something in the laundry room when it comes to cleaning your clothes. All right? A very specific thing when it comes to cleaning your clothes. 50% of Americans believe they can definitely do it. All right? Text in the answer that you think is correct. Do you guys have an idea?
Eat a Tide Pod.
I believe that they can get any stain out.
50% of Americans believe they can definitely do this task in the laundry room when it comes to cleaning clothes. You can text in the answer that you believe is right at 610-632-0975. We will announce one of our qualifiers in the next segment. We'll also tell you what the answer is. I have a bunch of these random things in front of me. All right, Connor, what do we got on the text line? Not about cleaning clothes in the laundry room, but about the key departures, 2025 versus 2026, and then also the likability of the 08 team compared to others, because I feel like they always catch I feel like they get slighted every once in a while compared to other teams.
We also have someone checking in on that conversation we just had about something that you don't want to believe and you get mad at. And this texter says, what do I do when there's something I don't want to believe? I like to blame my local sports talk radio host. It always makes me feel better.
And look, I'm fine being here for you. Like, if that's your way of
it's okay. If it helps you cope, then that's fine.
Like, that's why I said last week when you were out, I am not going to dunk on people when A.J. Brown gets traded. Like, I'm not going to. I'm going to be bummed out just as much as everybody else.
Here is.
Even though I could.
Even if he's not traded, it doesn't make anything that has gone on fake. It's completely real.
Says you, John.
It's completely real. When something like this was going on, all it takes is AJ to say, this isn't real. Howie to say, it's not real. AJ's agent to say it's not real.
But he
It's
hasn't spoken yet saying that it is real.
All of them, anybody can say it. This is such ridiculousness. It's to a level of ridiculousness like I've never heard on any story I've ever seen. By the way, my entire career.
People don't want
It's like,
to believe
I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that AJ's. This is a media creation.
Because he's really good.
Yes, he is very good.
They've won.
When he gives full effort, he is, yes.
And the other thing is that I do believe there are people that, why would anybody want to leave here, like Philadelphia? It's not that. It's either a Hurts thing or it's an offense thing.
How about
that's all, and not Hurts personal. It's Hurts in terms of quarterbacking.
And he, it's like it's also like the show. He is about, when he said it was a sheesh show. It's about his numbers. It's been about his numbers. It's been I can only remember that Tuesday after the Super Bowl when the quotes were coming out where AJ was like this, and I remember saying it, and Connor going, "You're making a big deal about nothing." I'm like, "No, I'm not." That's really weird.
Yeah.
That someone wins the Super Bowl and they're like, "Yeah, just doesn't feel like it, like I expected it to." And just being before we even had a parade, it was like, "Yeah, just not feeling it." There's something wrong. When you're not the center of attention, it's just not. That's what he wanted. And Saquon being the center of attention was part of it.
All right.
Saquon's center of attention.
By the way, YouTube, I appreciate all of you who are trying to guess the answer.
Are a lot of people guessing what I guessed?
No.
I say can get any state out.
And I can tell you that nobody on YouTube has gotten it right. Technically, we got one right.
Technically. Okay.
So we will tell you what the answer is coming up next. 50% of Americans say they can definitely do this. And it involves doing something when you're cleaning clothes in the laundry. Texting the answer you believe is right. We'll announce it coming up next, 610-632-0975. We also have today's headlines with Connor Thomas. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Friday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Every one of you has a friend, let's just call him Joe, that has a garage and they can't even park a car in it because they've got so much junk in their garage and they just won't clean it up because they won't go get a bagster. A $29.99 dumpster in a bag, 3 cubic yards, simple to pick up at Lowe's, Home Depot, or a local home improvement store. All it takes is going and getting a bagster. And even if someone like me, a simpleton when it comes to home improvement stuff, could set up a bagster, I know he could do it. And then you set up the bagster, and then what you do is you just take the 5 minutes, 10 minutes that it takes, get it set up, and then you fill it. You take all the junk, you throw it in there, and you get rid of it. You get rid of all that junk. And then what you do is you say, okay, now I've filled it up enough. I want all the junk to be removed. And then they come and get the bagster. They come and take it away from you. It's absolutely awesome. It's the dumpster in a bag, and at $29.99, there's no reason for you not to do it. You've been putting it off, and guess what? Spring is right around the corner, so that means spring cleaning. The bagster is like the cousin of spring cleaning. Simple scheduling. We schedule the collection, and it'll be gone. No time limits, completely on demand. Go to thebagster.com, find the store nearest you, get yourself one. Don't be like Joe. Go get yourself a bagster. The dumpster in a bag.
No hot takes.
To more of Kincade and Salciunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, 7:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Before we get to today's headlines with Connor Thomas, I want to shout out executive producer of the show. She doesn't get paid, Christy Salciunas, executive producer of the show, because every once in a while she provides me with content in terms of what my 3-year-old son is doing or saying. We watched Zootopia 2 yesterday. If you remember, we had Patrick Warburton in studio.
My wife and daughter went and saw that.
He was the voice of the mayor that was a horse, wing dancer or something. And so we watched it last night with Coop. And
Did you like it?
It was solid, for kids. It's a kids movie. I chuckled a few times.
I heard it was more adult.
They make the jokes that adults will get that the kids don't get.
Okay.
But there was a character in there. It was a woodchuck. And the woodchuck's name was Nibbles.
Oh, man.
And Coop,
Aaron Nola's favorite character.
And this morning, Coop was asking Christy, what kind of animal was Nipples?
Oh, no.
And she's like, what? Nipples. What animal is Nipples? And she's like, what are you talking about? From the movie. And she goes, oh, let's practice this one before you go to school today. Nibbles. So they practiced that on the drive into daycare today, so that he wasn't walking around asking people about nipples.
Kids are the best, man.
Damn right they are. Do we have a qualifier? I told you what the answer is. John Kincade, ding, ding, ding. 50% of Americans say they definitely can remove any stain from an article of clothing.
So
D Flyers on our YouTube chat, when I said kind of, he said just grease stain. He then also added grass stain. But any stain, 50% of Americans. So maybe Anthony Mooney, who was our qualifier, just texted in the answer that you gave. But you were right, John.
Yeah, it's because it's something that I think a lot of people have the little homemade, whether it's the seltzer water.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's Coca-Cola.
I've
or
heard
Coca-Cola.
that.
That stuff is, by the way, that also could take the rust off of bolts and everything.
Yeah.
But there's little homemade remedies. Milk.
Interesting.
Milk can also be used to take off some stains.
You know what
too.
else does? OxyClean.
OxyClean's great. OxyClean's great, but
it's like Frank's Red Hot. I spray that on anything.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about the OxyClean, though. The OxyClean can sometimes change the color of the area that it cleans.
Well, yeah,
you got to be careful
on what color.
Yeah,
Y'all are
be
doing
careful.
all this? I just throw it in the laundry, throw it in the dryer. That's it.
Yeah, but if it's something I really like, I don't.
You got to be
I
careful.
don't want to mess with it.
I don't have any more in my bag than that.
All right, I'll give you another one before we get to headlines. 46% of Americans can definitely do this at a restaurant. They can definitely do this at a restaurant. 46% of Americans.
I think I know.
I've got it.
I think
right.
you do. You do too?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get that answer for you coming up next, but it is time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
As brought to us by our friends over at Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Now, I know you guys have been zoned in on this up there in Canada, the Mr. Lube and Tires St. John's Junior Hockey League. They have the playoffs going on right now.
Locked in on that one.
Yeah, obviously this is a little more under the radar thing, but they made some national, or I guess
Mr.
international.
Lube, eh? Okay.
Mr. Lube and Tires. That's an auto shop. I might need it for my car later. They had a game. First of all, crazy stuff. The 1 seed played the lowest seed that made the playoffs, and the lowest seed that made the playoffs was like 7-20 something on the year. So how are they in the playoffs? I don't know.
Because it's Canada.
But it turned into a full-out brawl to the point where the game had to be suspended, and over 600 penalty minutes were handed out. The benches emptied, and there was almost a 4-way goalie fight between the starter and backup for each team.
Okay, that's fantastic.
I love it. Teach the kids young.
I'm sorry that I missed this. And Jason Martinez did not play in this game.
No, he did not. I think
That's
he's
incredible
a little outside of
because
the age range.
Have they played the game yet?
They have not. This was just recently that they did that. But the league had to put out a statement, and they're like, "Oh, we can't stand for this." Listen.
I think Jason Martinez may have played in this game. He may have snuck his way into this game. He caused quite a few fights in his career.
I'm sure he did.
What's like the youngest age where dropping the gloves is acceptable?
It's not acceptable. It isn't acceptable.
Well, it's acceptable in the NHL, so there's an age at some point.
It'll happen. Like, kids are kids, right? Like, Coop punched me in the face once because he was frustrated.
You're probably asking for it.
He was 3.
He punched you in the face?
Yeah, he went to his room. We talked about it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, a little talk. Yeah.
But, like, kids are kids. They're going to fight. They're going to tussle. It's when the parents don't step in. Remember there was a story, like, during the summer of a youth hockey league, and they fought for, like, 25 minutes, and not a single parent went on the ice.
Yeah, the one in Hershey.
Or, a single coach did. Like, they let them just go. Like, kids' heads were being beaten into the ice, and, like, the parents were just like, I can figure. The refs didn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
Let the boys scrap. Come on.
That's interesting.
All right, what else?
I think once you hit like 15, you should be able to drop the gloves. I think that's all right.
No. Well, no. If you, how about this? It happens sometimes, but then you get the big suspensions.
Yeah, you get your learner's permit, you can drop the gloves. That's my rule of thumb. Next up, maybe a guy that a lot of folks here in the United States want to drop the gloves on right now. Mark DeRosa, the manager of Team USA Baseball.
Foot in mouth again.
It's all saved. He saved himself because he had to correct the comments where he said they already had their ticket punched. And he's being very adamant that he just misspoke and he understood what he said. And I think he makes a good point here.
I think there's a couple false narratives out there, but no, I was well aware that we had to win that game based on all the scenarios that could take place. I mean, they went in 2-0. We went in 2-0. We knew they were playing Mexico the next day. We knew there was tiebreaker rules involved.
Yeah,
really,
what issue
Mark?
there, Mark? Your team was 3-0.
Yep, they were not 2-0.
And I had a guy yesterday tell me, look, Mark just misspoke there. I'm like, enough.
Yeah, so they got really drunk the night before. He talked about, and he was braggadocious about how they were dragging, they were celebrating. Yeah, they were 3-0. He didn't even know their record.
He did not know their record.
So now hold on. I got to say this because I feel like we can, being that we are in this industry. For a guy that does a speaking job, seems to misspeak a lot.
He does this. You know why he's misspeaking?
He works at the MLB Network.
You know why he's misspeaking? Because he's making it up as he goes along.
Yeah, he's trying to cover his ass.
Look, he's covering up, and I'm disappointed. Again, I've known Mark since he came into Major League Baseball. Great dude, like him a lot. He doesn't, but we've had issues over the years. But to me, this is an embarrassing moment. Just own your mistake.
Yeah, and he's
stop the tap dancing, dude. Stop it.
And you better take care of Canada tonight. We have one more baseball story to get to because stealing has always been a part of the game of baseball.
Of course it is.
But it's not the best when it's baseball cards. And it's also not the best when it's a priest.
What?
The head priest and dean of Trinity Episcopal Cathedral out in Pittsburgh is facing charges after being accused of stealing more than $1,000 in baseball cards from a Walmart. Word is he was looking for his own Jesus Luzardo card. But he is in big trouble.
A priest went to a store and robbed.
Like
Everybody loves baseball
$1,000?
cards.
First off, you got the whole basket every Sunday.
No, you can't do that.
Well, there were $10,000 worth of baseball cards, and he only took 10%.
Oh my God, dude.
So that was like tithing?
Yeah. It's in the
Dude,
Bible. Don't think I don't know the good book, Johnny.
Connor, I'm proud. Connor, I'm proud of you with this whole story. I'm really enjoying this whole story.
Does he lose? Like, what
Yeah,
happens?
of course he does. He stole $1,000 worth of baseball
Yeah, so
cards.
is he no longer a priest? Like, what happens?
He's
I
not
don't
no
know what
longer
the kicking out is.
He's not no longer a
No,
priest.
dude, you get
He's-
kicked out for that?
No, I don't think so. We'll have to get it. If Father Sean or Father Casey's
I'm
listening,
curious. Can we get some information on that?
I don't know. I think you get sent to like the
Gulag?
yeah. They have like there are priest places where they'll send you. And
Or he'll be the priest of a prison.
Prison priest.
no, you can't say there because the priest in the prison is supposed to be teaching you how to do things the right way.
Don't do what I did. That's
He's
his
Look,
word.
look, this is a thou shalt
Wow.
not steal.
Man,
He's
One of the
missing
10
one.
commandments.
He's missing one.
That's a
Seriously,
pretty big
you're missing one of
brother.
the tenants.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's out.
He can't be out.
You're cut.
He broke one of the 10 commandments. He's
Well, no.
out.
No, he's not out. He's
Easter's
just
right around the corner.
No, he just get.
Moses.
I'm not sure. Father Sean, get a ruling for us. Father Casey, you need a ruling.
All right, coming up next, we'll reset today's topics. We have other news from around the NFL that took place yesterday. We'll give you the latest answer on the percentages of Americans that say they can do this for your chance to win a pair of tickets, Sixers Bulls, and the spot and knockout. Also, an update on a story from last week, Connor, in today's headlines. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles stay active. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds continue to make some offseason moves yesterday, both from outside the organization and inside. They went out and signed veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a one-year deal for some depth in the secondary. Also added some high upside at edge rusher, a 27-year-old Arnold Ebiketie, who joins from Atlanta, an opportunity there to get some sack totals up. Internally, they restructured the contract of Landon Dickerson and re-signed Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal. Reek Woolen, who signed earlier this week, got a chance to meet with the media yesterday for the first time as an Eagle. He talked about some of his new teammates he's going to be playing with.
You got Q, you got Coop. With me being able to join those guys, I know that we can be able to play different types of looks. To be able to be along those guys and to play with a great front with Carter and JD, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And we'll see what the Eagles' new look defense looks like when everything, the dust settles as we get later on into the fall. Flyers took down the Wild 3-2 last night via the shootout. Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. Union play Atlanta tomorrow as they each look for their first MLS win. And the Phillies announced that Chase Utley will be their Wall of Fame inductee for 2026. Team USA takes on Team Canada in an elimination game tonight at 8 in the World Baseball Classic. Head coach Dick Vermile, Hall of Famer, will join us coming up at 8:30. This update is brought to you by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecast with WeatherBug. It's easy to use, so the weather never takes you by surprise. Download the free WeatherBug app today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We go around the NFL coming up in a little bit because some former Eagles have new homes around the NFL. We'll also give you some of the other updates. There is a quarterback that signed with a new team, and the memes are already tremendous. So we'll get to that coming up in a little bit.
They are funny.
We'll reset today's topics, but the answer, because I know everybody's been holding on waiting for this one, 46% of Americans say they can definitely do this at a restaurant. I want to go to the YouTube and get a winner today.
Okay.
Now, JM, I need you to call the line or something because we need to be able to get your information. But JM3232 was the only person I saw get it right on the YouTube chat.
I'm embarrassed by this.
And then eventually Neil got it because I gave a thumbs up. Being able to calculate a tip without a calculator.
That was my guess. John's was a little off the wall.
What was yours? Order from a foreign menu.
Be able to go and whether it's a French menu, Spanish, restaurant, Mexican restaurant. You can actually, when people try to butcher, like they actually know the language, and they try to order off of the menu.
Sure,
that's what I thought it was.
By the way, great Key and Peele skit if you've ever seen it.
I have not, and I love
dude,
Key and Peele.
It's hilarious.
I don't understand though that this is a thing.
Yeah, people struggle with it, man.
How?
I've gone to restaurants with my friends that don't know the answers. That they have to pull out the calculator and do it themselves.
I got to take my shoes off sometime to count on my toes.
To calculate a tip?
Yeah, without using a calculator. So, JM, call 610-632-0975, and Rod Mania will take care of you and get your information. You'll be in the running for the Sixers-Bulls tickets and the spot in Knockout. By the way, the laundry one, a lot of people were asking, clean the lint from the filter.
Okay. Everybody knows how to do that, right?
I would hope so because it's literally a threat to your house.
Do you know how to do the? Do you know how to take the? Do you have a kind that are front loaders or do you have top loaders?
Top loader.
Okay, you have top loader.
Yeah.
If you have front loaders, you have to clean them out with water. There's like a water basin because they have standing water in them. They stink.
I don't got all of that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
All right, so we'll give you another task later on this segment as well. 610-632-0975 is the number to climb in on our conversations, or if you want to try to text in the answer for the spot in Knockout. All right, here's what we talked about so far this morning. Started off the show talking about the impact of the players that have exited so far this offseason versus the players that we know exited the previous offseason. After the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Josh Sweat goes to Arizona. Milton Williams goes to New England. Darius Slay goes to Pittsburgh. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson goes to 17 different teams. How much of the impact of those players versus the losses of Reed Blankenship to Houston, Nakobe Dean to Vegas, Jalen Phillips to the Carolina Panthers? I know we have a poll running on this. John was shocked because, John, you think it was like an easy answer, and you're shocked by how close the poll has been. We'll see how close it is now. Is it still up and running thanks to our friends Dr. Avedon Appel and Iron Mounds Men Health?
It is still very much up.
Okay, good.
I like that.
Standing strong.
That's
Our
good.
question, which offseason's losses from the Eagles roster will have a bigger impact? 2026 is leading now 58% of the vote to 42% saying last year.
How about that?
It's the gap's widening.
That's interesting.
So more people are on your side, but it's still 58-42. The question says impact this season. I don't know why it says this season because 2025 was last year.
You know what we meant.
I know what you meant.
Connor, have you've done a good job on pronouncing our new linebacker too, by the way.
Yes, good job.
I had to watch. I looked up a highlight video today to hear his name.
Yeah, there's two ways to go about it. You either do the video route or you just go to the Pro Football Reference and you take a stab at it yourself with the pronunciation.
So Connor, give it to us once again, Arnold, because he's a Temple transfer.
Ebikadi.
And he went to Penn State.
Ebikadi.
Now Brian Finneran, a Hall of Famer from Villanova, checking in from down in Atlanta, said, solid player, no issues, helped the defense there for sure, and was a really, really good citizen and was surprised that he was available.
Only 27, so there's some upside there.
Surprised that he was available. So it's really
build
good.
on that.
He had 2 seasons with 6 sacks. Last year, just 2. I mean, he's a rotational guy. He's not going to be a winner.
But he likes him. He says likes the guy, and it's good. So that's not a bad thing.
You needed depth. You got depth.
So you say this morning, just to take you guys behind the curtain, Connor prefers the video route of hearing how an announcer says it, which is always a good way to. I do that too.
I do too.
I like the pronunciation on Pro Football Reference better because seeing it.
No, I don't.
Ebikadi, I can see it. Like I'm staring at it right now. I'm not staring at EBIKETIE. I'm staring at EBB-UH-DASH KAY-TEE.
Yeah, but dude, there's dots and there's swooshes and everything.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm reading Windings.
No, I agree with Connor.
I need to hear it.
Hear the play-by-play guy of now the Falcons have Wes Durham, one of the great radio play-by-play guys out there. If I hear Wes Durham say it, I know it's correct. So I'll listen to Wes, and then he'll say it, and then I'll try to not butcher it because I can hear somebody say it and still butcher it myself.
However, here's where you get into trouble.
However,
you get guys like Ojomo or Ojima or Ajomo
that
or
start changing their name.
It changes every other day. So if you just go to Pro Football Reference, it has Ojomo.
How do we know that's right?
Yeah, but he doesn't say it that way necessarily.
They have Ranher on there, Ranger Suarez.
Exactly.
We'll have to check.
That was
research.
one of the biggest bits of news this year in 2026. Forget the Max Crosby no trade. It was Ranger Suarez telling us that we've been saying his name wrong this entire time.
He throws against Japan tomorrow night.
Damn
Be
right
excited.
he does, dude. That game, by the way, much more exciting than tonight. USA Canada.
We'll see.
I'm locked in, but like that game, Yamamoto versus Ranger Suarez, like I'm in. Tonight I'll put it on.
But for the USA Canada thing.
Oh yeah,
it's worth
for
it.
a second straight or third straight beatdown, right? Women's and men's hockey, and now this one. All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? 610-632-0975. We're also talking about the 2008 Phillies because Chase Utley being inducted into the Wall of Fame. Where does that team rank in terms of likability for other teams? I feel like they're not one of the top ones. I love them, but I'm also baseball, and my dad. I went to Game 3 of the World Series. I was fortunate enough to do that. So like that's moments of my life that I'll never be able to take out of my brain.
Yeah, and I think it's where it fits for you. By the way, Ron Hare, it's not. It only shows his last name on Baseball Reference. Stephen Thorndale's with you, though, on the 08 Phillies. He says, I love the 08 team. We had Sunday season tickets, 06, 7, and 8.
That's probably
and it was
why.
so awesome. My son was born on opening day in 08. It was just a great time.
Really? Opening day 08 is
That's beautiful.
That's a great little
spoiled fan.
Memory. No, but that's a great little memory thing.
Oh, it's great.
To be able to alert it to.
2022, as horrible as it was, my son had the RSV virus. That's really bad for kids.
Oh, it's bad.
And he was laying on my chest, sound asleep, snot pouring out of him, right when Alec Boehm got hit by the pitch in the Cardinals series. And so here I am trying not to wake up my sick kid on my chest, right? Because Gene Segura gets the go-ahead single. That's a special moment for me, but it's a very special moment for me specifically. Not that other people didn't enjoy it. That was like an afternoon game, too.
It was an afternoon game. We were in Arizona with the Philly sports trips.
Yeah, you were out there for the Eagles-Cardinals game.
And we were on the golf course at True North, one of the great golf courses out in Scottsdale. And we're playing in the golf tournament. And John Maley, who I was a fine listener of the show, had it on the speaker. So we're listening.
Wow.
We're listening on the speaker to the game, and they're losing that game.
Yeah,
all
basically
the way
the whole time.
And then
as people expected too.
And we're on the course and listening to that, and I'll never forget that comeback. And it was awesome. And then Saturday night before the Eagles game, we're over there watching Aaron Nola pitch a gem to pitch them into the next round.
Yeah,
and it was spectacular. Absolutely awesome.
All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor?
All right, we have Father Sean checking in, who has an update on the priest stealing baseball cards. And very detailed response here from Father Sean
Thank you, Father
what
Sean.
the implications could be.
Thank you, Father.
He's in trouble, guys.
Yeah, dude, it's one of the 10 commandments.
It is one of the 10, yes.
Like, you're out.
No, I don't think he's necessarily out. I don't think he's necessarily out.
I think he gets demoted to altar boy.
I think there might be.
I'm just saying,
I think
dude.
he might get. He's going to pay his debt to society type of thing. I don't know.
He did one of the 10. You can't.
Baseball
Hail
cards.
Marys, our fathers. Move on with your day.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. All right. Some moves around football. One other move that we've not talked about yet with the Eagles, Jonathan Jones. They signed. I'm not expecting big things out of Jonathan Jones, but the guy's had a nice career.
I think he's a nice depth piece.
Yeah, really depth piece. Absolutely.
Depth piece.
Right.
That's it.
Like Tariq
That's
Woolen,
hard for me to say.
Tariq Woolen's going to be
depth piece
for $15 million. Tariq Woolen's going to be starting right on the opposite side.
By the way, one of
Quinyon Mitchell,
one of the highest paid CB2s in the league.
Sure, 1-year deal. If it doesn't work out, he's off the books the next year. Jonathan Jones comes in. He's a nice depth piece. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. So you bring him here. So there's one other update for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Steelers got Jaquan Brisker, a safety, solid player with the Chicago Bears. He goes to the Steelers.
I would have loved him. And at that, how much was that?
I just see 2-year deal. I didn't see how much money it was worth.
I need to know because I would have loved to have seen him here. I like him as a player. Now, I don't have a doctorate in watching, but when I watch him play, I like him. So I want to know what he made, what that contract is. Because if he was out there in the streets.
Looks like, I don't want to subscribe to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
While you look that up, just going back real quick.
I think it's 5.5.
Oh, okay, you got it.
What?
That's what I think. I don't know. That's what it looked like. It popped up as.
All right.
He's reading through a paywall. Who knows?
Yeah. Other ones. How about Bryce Huff?
He retired, right?
Announces his retirement from the sport of football. Obviously, we know it did not work out here.
He retired before he came to the Eagles.
Yeah, make that. He played relatively well early for the Niners last year, and then it just fell off. Remember, he had 4 sacks early on, and we were like,
the
whoa.
Jimmy Kempski stick figures.
Yes.
So he was giving us the big stick figure, giving us the big hello.
But he's leaving. I don't know if it's because he fell out of love with football. He has a new company.
Did he love football?
I don't know, John. I never
Not the way he played.
But he's starting a new company.
What's it going to be? Can't wait to hear what this is.
He's building a company called Neighborstone. And it's a way to...
Connor, predict what Neighborstone is.
Helps you in a neighborhood somewhere. I don't know. It feels like one of those overarching names.
It's... Oh, my God. I'm just going to read what it says in the 49ers press release.
Okay.
All right. Now it's time for the next chapter of my life. I'm building a company called Neighborstone. Lithium batteries power the modern world, but they carry a fire risk that current suppression technology is never designed to solve. We're building safety infrastructure specifically for that problem. That's like a what? I don't know what Bryce Huff studied in college. I don't know. This sounds
malingering.
I don't know what he did.
Malingering. I know he
sounds
did that.
Too smart for me.
It sounds very smart. Go get him, man. Like it's like his video. I watched this video. Like he really is like
he got paid.
Passionate about this.
Yeah, he got paid.
Yeah, he got paid.
Hey man,
he
if he solves that problem, Eagles signing him, butterfly effect made the world a better place. We can all be happy.
Yeah, he got paid. That's what we know about Bryce. Bryce got paid.
But he's
quite the humanitarian.
Advanced detection technology and containment built for lithium-ion battery events. Huh. Hey, Bryce, go get him, man. Help out people. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, we talked about him a little bit. He signed with the Bills yesterday. Bills trying to shore up their defense. We'll see how much they can handle Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the person, because we know that gets dicey. We know that pretty well here.
Yes.
He signed a deal worth up to $6 million.
Well, the Stephon Diggs void was needed to be filled up there.
Yeah, exactly. Kylan Granson, Eagle legend. He signs with the Tennessee Titans. And how about Kyler Murray goes to the Minnesota Vikings
By the way,
on a 1-year contract?
I like that signing a lot. I really do.
You see what you get out of him.
I think it's low risk.
9 stinks.
If you drafted McCarthy, you wanted him in your mix, and look, you got a coach. You got a coach who's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, and Dan Orlovsky or Dio did a breakdown of the top 20 8-game stretches for quarterbacks over like the past 5 years, and Kyler Murray has 2 of the top 20. And he's saying, look, this guy has put together 2 stretches that were just incredible.
Yeah, and the other stretches is when it's a double XP weekend on Call of Duty, and then he has the worst stretches.
And so it's can you get and Connor, you were bringing up this morning, maybe new teammates, maybe new situation.
Yeah, listen, my mom and brother are Vikings fans. They're already excited. They both bought a youth small Kyler Murray jersey already, so they're ready.
That's the one that he wore in game.
Yes, it's game worn.
But the idea that
look, he's a talent. I think he's talented.
I like him actually.
I would have loved to have seen him not get a starting job somewhere and seen him had a chance to come here and prototype under Jalen.
Look, if you're Minnesota.
That's a low-risk, great job.
9 stinks. J.J. McCarthy stinks. And did you want to go with the Aaron Rodgers experience? Like, I don't think so. So you bring in Kyler Murray. Here's the biggest problem for Minnesota, though, is if this doesn't work, like, they're in it. They Darnold, they move on from. McCarthy, they find out stinks. What if it doesn't work the 1 year of Kyler Murray? Then what? Right now because he's going to win him enough games that they're not going to be a high draft pick.
That's
and then
where
it's
they've
going to be
always
another
been.
trade. Yeah.
Listen, like McCarthy's the first guy they've drafted that they've actually tried since
Where did
Teddy
they get
Bridgewater.
him? 9? Like something like wasn't he drafted like around 9 or something?
I forget
Maybe
exactly
8,
where,
9,
but
something
they've
like that.
been like on the Case Keenum,
Kyler
Sam
Murray?
Bradford, Sam Darnold route for
Wasn't
years.
Kyler Murray number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
Yeah, Kyler Murray was the number 1, I believe.
Because that was the Josh Rosen trade and then drafting Kyler Murray because he was out there before.
That's right. Yeah, he was the first overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft. Who was the second overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft?
No clue.
How about Nick Bosa?
Oh.
Quinnen Williams was third.
Wow.
That's pretty good top 3, even though Kyler did not work out necessarily for Arizona.
No.
All right. Here's your next question. This one, I feel like if you don't get this one right, like, that's on you. 30% of Americans say they can definitely use this. And your clue I'll give you is, let's say you're lost in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
30% of Americans say they can definitely use this. I'm surprised that only 30% of Americans can.
Not
it's
after
cell phone, right?
Not after after the tipping question. I'm totally lost.
46% of Americans can definitely do. Yeah, I think
that half people can't even do tips.
I feel like this one's easier.
I think this is even easier.
I would imagine this is an easier task than doing math.
I mean, seriously.
All right, 30% of Americans say they can definitely do this. They can use this. And my clue that I'll give you is you're lost in the woods. All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? 610-632-0975.
So Wayne in Virginia checks in on the favorite team conversation. He has an 80s analogy comparing the 93 and 08 Phillies. He says, to me, the 93 Phillies are more like Fast Time at Ridgemont High. 08 Phillies are more St. Elmo's Fire. Now, John, you're going to have to help us with that.
Okay. Yeah, the Fast Times at Ridgemont High, one of the have you seen it?
Yeah.
One of the fantastic movie. Hilarious. St. Elmo's Fire was a bunch of pretty people for the most part, and was this coming of age, like 20-something, angsty, Demi Moore, Rob Lowe.
So more Hollywood?
Yes, okay. And certainly not.
Interesting.
Yes, not good.
Okay, so the 08 Phillies are Hollywood, which fits
they
with
are.
Cole on the team.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Are they totally Hollywood? I don't know.
There's, come on, there's not like you guys. Here's the thing, is that you guys are in. And again, I'm not trying to.
I can't appreciate the 93 team like you do.
You can't see it. No, but you can't understand the correlation because of living it. It's the thing of where living it and this city, the way they lived that 93. Because I'm telling you this, it's just Mike Missinelli at the time, the great Mikey Miss. Him and Steve Fredericks were doing afternoon drive at the time on some other station. I don't know whatever happened to it. They were doing afternoon drive sports talk radio. And Mikey Miss and Steve, the Phillies got off to such a hot start that they started doing the magic number like the second or third week of April.
Damn right, man.
And it became a gag. And I think that Steve Fredericks at the time both thought that it was this is going to be a gag that backfires, but we're going to do it.
And it worked, man.
And it just kept going and kept going and kept going. There was a love affair with that team that was second
and they
to none.
drank beers and they partied and all that kind of stuff.
And they were every bit associated with this city like you wouldn't believe.
All right, coming up next, Dick Vermile will be joining us. He was honored with the Musser Eagle Award, and yet he was completely overshadowed.
Amazing.
Brandon Graham says he's coming back.
Maybe it was
Campbell's
the Vermile
injured.
wine.
Maybe.
They got everybody talking.
That could be a good
that
point,
Vermile
too.
wine is very good.
We'll celebrate with Dick Vermile. We'll also get his thoughts on what the Eagles can do this offseason and where they're at in the NFC. We went through the odds yesterday. Despite people being upset with the offseason so far, they're still right there. We'll talk about it with Dick Vermile next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, right now, new FanDuel customers, you can get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days if your bet loses. Here is how it works. Place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 in bonus bets back every single day for 10 straight days. That's awesome. That's 10 chances to play all tournament long, from game props, money lines, spreads, futures, totals, and more. You can even mix things up with same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to fill out your bracket, FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge makes it easy for you to stay in the action day after day. Maybe a lot of people hit on UMass. I know there's a lot of talking heads saying that Miami of Ohio wasn't real. Maybe people hit on UMass. They were a big dog yesterday. Just check them out online, FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, it's time to dance. You got to be 21 plus. President Pennsylvania. Must apply. Select token each day. Bonus bets are now withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Tokens are received in increments of one per day. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Birds reworked some deals. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles made some signings yesterday, but also did some work in-house, restructuring the contract of Landon Dickerson and re-signing Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal, who had a great year punting last year for the team. They also added depth to the defense, signing veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a 1-year deal and adding a high-upside edge rusher and 27-year-old Arnold Ebiketie. So, some help on the defense for Vic Fangio, and Reek Woolen is that as well. He got a chance to meet with media for the first time in Philadelphia yesterday, and he talked about his passion fitting the city.
I like to go out there, have swagger. I got to have passion. God didn't make me to be a quiet person. God made me to go show off my abilities and play with passion and enthusiasm. And to fit in a culture where a lot of players do play with passion and enthusiasm is going to be a lot of fun.
Flyers played with some passion last night. They took down the Wild 3-2 via the shootout, and they've still got some life in a playoff push. The Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. The Union play Atlanta tomorrow as they each look for their first MLS win. The Phillies announced that Chase Utley will be their Hall of Fame inductee for 2026. Team USA plays Team Canada in an elimination game tonight at 8 in the World Baseball Classic. And Hall of Fame coach Dick Vermile joins us coming up next. This update's brought to you by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecast with WeatherBug. It's easy to use, so the weather never takes you by surprise. Download the free WeatherBug app today. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
and the Fanatic app.
It is 8:30 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. And we're about to be joined by the great Dick Vermile. Dick Vermile received the 2026 Musser Eagle Award for leadership from the Mission Capitalist Club. How about that, Johnny? Have you been
I have not.
Have you earned that award yet?
I have not, and I love capitalism. Like, I absolutely love capitalism.
Well, it's a shame that
Done the Hall of Fame's thing, but I mean that look, Dick Vermeil.
But that's not the Musser Eagle Award.
Dick
bro.
Vermeil could build a tower out of all the awards that he's gotten in his life.
I'm sure he can.
Seriously.
And I'm sure the biggest
it'd be bigger than Liberty Place.
The biggest award that he can get is joining this show.
Well, I don't believe he would say that.
Kincade and Salciunas. Dick Vermeil joins us. Dick, good morning, man. How are we today?
Hi, Coach.
I'm doing all right, guys. I'm hanging in there for an old man. I'm doing well. I'm very fortunate.
Damn right.
I bet you've already worked out this morning.
No, but I have my plan.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
All right, John. Yeah, let him eat his breakfast. All right, and then I'll get to the workout. So, Coach, you had the award ceremony the other day, and unfortunately, it seems like it's been a bit overshadowed because you have Brandon Graham announcing the return to the Philadelphia Eagles for another year. Vic Fangio talks about Jahan Campbell and the injury. But let's start with Brandon Graham. I'm sure you have had numerous conversations with BG over the years. Just talk about his impact with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, as I said the other night at the awards banquet, that he is my former Carl Hairston. They both have the same personalities and temperament and intensity on every snap, and I admire that in a player, though he probably has a little more talent than Carl Hairston had. But Carl played, 16 years, and he coached for me at the Rams and the Chiefs, and he fit that mold. And, I don't know if anybody in the history of the Eagle organization over a long period of years has made any better contribution to his football team than this guy.
Coach, it's been such a great run for the Eagles right now. And you see where they're at, but then again, last year after a Super Bowl, they take that step back. I remember you talking to us before opening night, talking about how difficult it is to repeat. Well, now, how difficult is it to be able to recover and dust yourself off and get back to a championship kind of level after the disappointment of last year?
Well, I kind of doubt they'll have the injury problems 2 years in a row in the offensive line that they had last year. So I think they may be stronger throughout 17 games this year than last year. I think the new coordinator on offense will create some enthusiasm and install a different approach that may be very, very positive. And it's so hard to match that Super Bowl year that, that standard is so high, you may never match that again, okay? But I think they'll find a way to be better than they were, maybe a little more consistent, because, they had a number of very fine games in which the quarterback was over a 100 rating 5 or 6 times in a row. So, but I do think maybe they can end up being a little better in many different categories.
Coach, how difficult is it to keep the defense being as talented as they've been the last 2 years, where now in 2 off seasons, they've lost a total of 7 starters on that side of the ball?
Well, the biggest advantage the Eagles have is Vic Fangio, because, he's been doing it a long time, and he's coached many defenses that perform very well that weren't extremely talented. And he schemes according to the ability he has and the offense that he's attacking and defending. And I think they can be every bit as good. And that Howie is going to add some personnel through the draft that will make an immediate contribution. He has such a great track record of doing so that I think the defense will be very close to what it was and maybe even better.
Coach, do we overstate, do you believe in our business, the way that we talk about it, that the way that, like, we always think, well, Vic Fangio runs the defense. The effect that a head coach still has on his manipulation and his input on what the defense is?
Well, the head coach is critical because he is the boss. He oversees everything. He controls the tempo. He defines the practice tempo. He defines when they wear pads and when they don't. He defines how long they're on the practice field. He defines all the team meetings. No, he is critical. He's the communicator between the general manager and the owner. No, without a good head football coach like we have here, you don't have the success they've already experienced.
So, Coach, I'm going to ask you about a Philadelphia Eagles-related topic, but we're going to also go back to the greatest show on turf, and that's trying to keep everybody talented, happy. We know the big story right now in Philadelphia has been the big story, and that's A.J. Brown. What do you make of this entire situation where he was clearly upset last season? Now there's been plenty of trade talk, but we all know that is a very talented player.
Sometimes attitude can negatively influence the overall total contribution a player like that can make to a football team. So, nobody knows him better than the head football coach and the coaching staff right there and the general manager. And they know if he's the kind of guy that they can sort of reverse some of those immature mood swings that he goes through, all based on his individual performance in a ball game. And, when you listen to him be interviewed, when he finally talks to somebody, he comes across pretty sincere, especially how the other teammates express their feelings toward him. So maybe he is Sal, can save him, I don't know. But more often than not, people used to ask me, how do you handle the disgruntled player? And I always said poorly. Okay, poorly. I didn't, and it didn't, I'd cut number one draft choices that were drafted the year before. Yeah, because it just isn't going to work, because it's the negative effect on the depth and the structure and the culture of your football team. And you just can't allow one person to do that to you. But no one knows how positive or how negative his contribution is more than the people in that locker room and that coaching staff. And whatever they do, it'll be the right decision for the Eagles.
Coach, it's one of the things is you being an ex-NFL head coach and a guy who's won a Super Bowl understands it. You know what it's like to be in Nick Sirianni's office. Different era, but you know the job. What is it that you so admire about how he does his job and what you've been able to observe up close and personal? Because he does take a lot of bullets and a lot of critique here, but as you well know, that's part of the job here in Philly.
Well, I think he's an excellent connector. I think he connects with his players and puts them in a frame of mind to be coached by his coaching staff. When a head coach can't do that, then the assistant coaching staff is not a real good coaching staff. And I think he's done a really good job of that. And he recognizes where his strengths are and where he needs more help, just like I did with Marion Campbell here and Fred Bruni and the likes of those kind of guys, Mike Martz at the Rams. You need those kind of guys. But it's still the overall tone and attitude of your football team is controlled by you as a head coach and how you connect with your staff and how you connect with your players. And Nick has done a beautiful job of that. I really, I've never talked football 2 minutes with Nick. I've sat next to him at a dinner a couple of times, but no football conversations. I never had a meeting with him. But, I admire and respect what he's been able to do, especially when it comes to evaluating his win-loss record.
Coach, listen, we appreciate the time, as always. Congratulations on your latest accomplishment. What, is this like the third or fourth award you've ever been given?
Oh, please.
I'm grateful for the personal recognition at my age. I appreciate being recognized, and the award came from an organization actually formed around an old businessman in town named Pete Musser at Safeguard Scientific. He and I were real good friends, and I used to do speaking for him and travel with his organization and invest money in his stock markets, and won some and lost some. But anyway, he was one of those kind of guys that was always interested in doing well and making sure everybody around him was doing well. So I was there because the person that had really started his career and business was put on the banquet, and Michael Carter did a great job. And it was fun. There were 75, 80 people there. And, of course, Vic Fangio was there. And, I really appreciate it, and I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Coach, what California Red had the best year in 25 for red wine?
Well, I don't know about 25, but all three of our Cabernets of the 23 vintage, which is not released yet, two of them got 95 grades, and the other got a 96 grade.
All right, when are you releasing?
I'm very, very, very proud of that.
When are you releasing? Soon?
We have to sell our 2022s first. And
all right.
We're almost out of them, but it'll be a while.
All right, we'll tell people to buy those so that we can buy the 23 Cavs. Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate the time.
Take care, guys.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Dick Vermile here on Kincade
You
and
red wine.
Salciunas.
You're not as big a wine guy.
No, wine is not. I literally, when I went to Princeton a couple weeks ago with my wife and I, we did a night away.
Damn, you got it in?
No, they laughed at me. We got dinner and she was like, you know what? I want to have one more glass of wine. I was so full that I didn't want another beer, and I had a little too much that I didn't want another like whiskey. And I was like, I wish I could do that, like the glass of wine. Like, I just don't like it.
I love, oh man,
like a post-dinner glass of wine. That sounds wonderful. The white pre-dinner and then the red post or during. Like, I wish I had that palate. I don't.
Oh, it's great.
I only like red wine with a steak dinner.
I agree.
But I love a glass of red wine after dinner, like tonight.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
Tonight's Friday during Lent.
Yeah.
Crab cakes dinner. And then I'll have a glass of wine after dinner.
That sounds beautiful.
Oh, man.
All right,
Some
not for
Vermeil
me.
wines are a good choice, by the way.
By the way, 30% of Americans can use this if they're lost in the woods.
A compass. Come
Only
on.
30?
How is that?
It says NSWE.
How is it possible?
Not that hard.
You remember that whole geography argument we had?
Yeah, but I mean, it's spelled out for you. I mean, you start walking in a direction, it tells you which way you're going. I mean, come on, people.
All right, I have more of these questions. Congratulations to Alex Gravenese, our latest qualifier for the spot and knockout. Of course, the pair of tickets to that game, Sixers Bulls. Coming up next, Amy Fadul is here. She will join us in studio.
She's looking at her compass now.
I forgot to give you something, an updated story from last week's today's headlines. And I'm glad that they did it. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Free agency is here and it's about to get crazy. Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
It is 8:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5 The Fanatic. It's a Friday, which means Fridays with Fadul. Just a little delayed today, but Amy is here. Good morning.
Good interview with Coach Vermile.
89 years old.
Killing it.
89 years old, and he's sharp, man. I love it. It's always
good
a
insight,
treasure
good
having
stuff.
him on. Yeah, always.
And delicious wines.
Yes, very quality stuff. Even though I'm not the biggest wine connoisseur, that's
right.
out there.
Really good wine.
I can't wait for 40 years when we get to drink Sirianni wines.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Please.
You know that's happening.
Well,
Absolutely.
but 1 year the wine would be great, and then the next year they'll have a really off year.
Yeah.
And then they'll bring in a new guy to assist.
But his sommelier, Bill Colarulo, will pitch it every single day.
Would Nick Sirianni, if they did a World Football Classic, he would have to be the Team Italy head coach, right?
Well, listen, if
he's got the patch.
The Team Italy head coach has experience, so yes, the Team USA coach would have zero experience. It would just be a random dude that we found.
You'd have to beat out Big
It'd be a
Dom for
Philadelphia
Team
Sports
Italy.
Talk radio host.
Well, you would be more informed than Mark DeRosa, so no, I would take like an
He's
intern.
embarrassing himself.
You had to own it at some point, right? You just got to own this. You can't say you misspoke 1,000 times when you clearly did not.
And then misspeak again by saying, we knew that we were 2-0, they were 2-0. Like, no, you were 3-0.
Yeah, we knew that.
He
You
keeps
didn't
digging
know.
a hole
You
bigger.
didn't know.
He didn't know.
Just come right and be like, hey,
Admit it.
dudes, I thought for sure. And then my favorite thing is people are like, why didn't the players know? If the manager comes in and tells you you have clinched, you're going to sit there and be like, hold on, Mark DeRosa.
Wait a minute.
Let me put my beer down for a second.
Okay, the
and
other day, I said to Andrew in the morning, and it was just an offhanded comment. I said, like the players, I said, so they've clinched, so they're now on to the quarterfinals, right? And he goes, no, I don't think so. And he actually did the thing. He goes, no,
I said,
they're
3-0, this team's 2-1.
But he
there
figured
was
it out.
2 more games to play at that point. So that was what was like.
Yeah.
Simple math would have told him.
But he figured
that wasn't going to work out.
Well, we're learning today that people don't do simple math well.
True.
Our chance
or the compass.
For your chance to win a pair of tickets, I'm giving you random percentages of adults that say they can definitely do this, which also means there's a percentage of people that say they definitely can't do it. Remove any stain from clothes. 50% of people say that they can do it.
I feel like that's just a confidence issue.
Mentally calculate tips. 46% say they can definitely do it. I don't know how only 30% of people can.
I would imagine it has something to do with people not realizing which way they need to go. Hopefully, they know how to use a compass because it's pretty simple. It's
Just
only
walk
4
in a
directions.
direction and look where it's going.
And then, but maybe it's that they're like, well, great, I'm going north. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's their issue. But know, sun rises and sets in 2 very distinct directions.
Jared Goff did not know that.
I'm sorry.
Jared Goff. He did not on Hard Knocks.
Jared Goff got drafted,
and
they asked him about
the
where
East and the West thing. He doesn't know that.
He did not know.
He did not know that.
And then what's his name? And then Jackson Dart
didn't know where water was.
Thought the Atlantic Ocean was right next to the Giants practice facility.
I mean,
he said, "Well, you can." He goes, "I could throw a football to the Atlantic Ocean."
I mean, he must have a really good arm.
I would love to see Dart and Scattaboo in a classroom.
He's when they say dumb blonde, Jackson Dart.
All right, then I'll give you another one here. All right. This one.
That's a blonde. I say.
This is going to be
jock, dumb jock.
This might be hard to get the answer.
My blonde store bought. So
this one might be hard to get, but I want to do this one because I think it's important that more people need to know this. All right. 25% of Americans say they definitely know what they can't do in their home. I'm trying to word it. It's a health and safety thing. All right?
I know.
They know what they can't do in their home?
It is.
It's a health and safety thing. Only, I will say, 25% of adults in America
know that this is something they should not do.
They should not do this. It's a health and safety thing inside their home.
They shouldn't do it. Okay.
So there's 75% have no idea that this is an inappropriate thing.
It's not necessarily
a dangerous
thing.
Potentially dangerous
This
thing.
is like a knowledge thing. I wonder if anyone can get this one. It's kind of hard to word the question without giving it away. We'll see if anyone gets it. 610-632-0975. All right, the update on a story from today's headlines last week. Connor, you talked about the LED glass floor at the Big 12 championship.
Yes.
So the LED glass court was so that they didn't have to, they didn't just want to have one set logo. John, I don't know if you saw this because you were out on vacation.
I did not see it if it
They
was.
created an LED
you got to
glass
see it.
floor.
It's crazy looking.
So that whoever the home team was, they could just put their logo on the court.
So they were
but they're
playing
like
basketball
and they're
on
like,
glass?
Yeah, have you seen like the Heat? I think have a practice facility like this, where it's really enhanced analytics. So they have like it's new on the Sixers broadcast too.
Okay,
like I'm exactly 26.7 feet away, and then it kind of like it messes up. Or
I always thought it had to be hardwood though. You played on.
Well, that's
No.
the practice
So
facility.
this is their practice facility.
Oh,
so
okay.
the Big 12 has this, and the other day they even have like the rosters. They're like having like the people's faces on there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what's not interesting?
What?
It's players slipping.
Not a
and
great surface,
falling.
oddly enough. Glass.
Well, I'm going to say it's glass. I can't imagine.
I mean, it's like
played on glass.
pixelated glass. I don't know how else to describe
That
it.
shocks me.
After consultation with the coaches of our 4 semifinal teams, I have decided that in order to provide our student athletes with the greatest level of comfort on a huge stage this weekend, we will transition to a hardwood court for the remainder of the tournament, the Commissioner Brad Yormark said, because players were falling.
Okay, that's incredible. I didn't even think that could be played with.
I mean,
You
this
could do
is tournament play. I don't know. Were any games like down to the wire? Yeah, a couple of them were. Like, what if a player like
slips and falls as he tries to bring the ball up and win the game?
Twists an ankle, tears up a knee before the
I'm not saying
NCAA
that.
tournament.
What if
Literally
like,
just falls.
just couldn't hit the shot because his footing wasn't right? I'm not even saying leading to injury. Just let's say a guy tries to in transition stop and pop, and he slips a little bit, and his shot goes awry, and you lose by a basket or two, maybe because of that moment.
But you know, they were so excited before the tournament. You guys, everyone's going to be talking about our court. It's going to be amazing. Look at this thing. And now everybody's talking about your court because it's dumb.
And you know why they had the kids mopping up the floor? Because the players are constantly sweating.
Oh, there was they were like literally like squeegeeing it.
Yes, that's terrible.
With the really not like the little mop thing you see of the hardwoods, like a little like squeegee. You use it in the shower, that kind of vibe.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you can't let that
That's
happen.
bad. That's
job,
bad
Big 12.
planning. Yeah, it's bad planning.
It's really bad. All right. So coming up next, we will reset today's topics. You'll hear the little produced reset of the show. We got to get Amy's thoughts on today's topics. Which losses will impact the Eagles more? The players that left 2 seasons ago after they won the Super Bowl, or the players that have left so far this year? Chase Utley going to the Wall of Fame for the Phillies. Where does that 08 team rank for Amy? Amy's been covering a lot of these teams over the years. The term likability, for whatever reason, 08 doesn't really get much of it, which I don't understand. But we love your responses at 610-632-0975. We'll get Amy's. Can anybody get this recent question? Only 25% of Americans know what they should not do in their house. This is a health and safety question. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
When something doesn't feel right, go to the doctor. Let the doctor tell you what's wrong. If a cancer diagnosis, though, comes into your family, make sure that you visit the consultants in medical oncology and hematology. Dr. John Sprandio Jr. and his team are going to make it very, very easy for you to get answers. And they're going to get them to you fast. They'll get you in fast for the consult. They'll give you clear communication. More importantly, they'll come up with an individualized plan that is going to be able to help navigate you through your cancer care. What I love is their 3 offices throughout the region. I actually use 2 of them. But all of their offices, you're going to find free parking, easy access, no elevators, no garages to deal with. Drop off at the front door, walk through, main level, get on in, get taken care of. And since they're an independent practice, they can deal with healthcare systems from all across the area. So you're not tied to just a certain group of doctors that are part of a certain group of tree of doctors within one healthcare system. I used 3 different doctors out of 3 different trees, and boy, it helped get me a great result. The consultants in medical oncology and hematology, they are the best. Visit cmoh.org, and you're going to take the first step towards survival and peace of mind.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Depth moves for the Eagles. I'm Connor Thomas. The Eagles continue to make some offseason moves yesterday. They worked on some internal and external stuff. They went out and signed veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a 1-year deal to add to the depth in the secondary, and also added edge rusher Arnold Ebiketie, a 27-year-old. Bit of a project, but had some success down in Atlanta stats-wise, adding to depth at edge. Internally, they restructured the contract of Landon Dickerson and re-signed punter Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal. They also also, of course, earlier in the week, added Reek Woolen to that secondary. He talked yesterday about some of the new teammates he gets to play with.
You got Q, you got Coop. With me being able to join those guys, I know that we can be able to play different types of looks. To be able to be along those guys and to play with a great front with Carter and JD, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So the Eagles are starting to take shape with the roster. Still work to do for Howie Roseman. Flyers took down the Wild 3-2 last night in a shootout. The Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. Union take on Atlanta tomorrow, both looking for their first MLS season win. And the Phillies announced that Chase Utley will be their Wall of Fame inductee for 2026. Tonight, Team USA takes on Team Canada in an elimination game at 8 p.m. in the World Baseball Classic. And Amy Fadul's with us for the remainder of the show. This update's brought to you by Papa John's, introducing new pan pizza from Papa John's. Order a medium one-topping pan pizza, just $11.99 when you download the Papa John's app or at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza. That's Papa John's. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
And Salciunas.
The players that we know so far that have left, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, and Jalen Phillips, what the impact will be of their absence in 2026 compared to the players the Eagles lost last year.
I'm looking at who they've lost this year, and I'm looking at it as much more significant loss than what they had last year.
Really?
Yes. Because of the fact we don't know what Ja'Kai Campbell is. So I look at that as like an incomplete. Then he's injured again with the shoulder again. And that's what caused him to drop in the draft. And then Reed Blankenship, and we say it, what Reed is, and I know that you know, we joke with you as, oh, he hates Reed Blankenship. He doesn't hate Reed Blankenship. You don't value Reed Blankenship the way that Connor and I did when he was here.
I'm going 2025 because the edge rusher, as you mentioned, having Josh Sweat, at least that guy that you know is there, even if he's not putting together the sack totals, he was on the field all the time. Milton Williams, he went to New England and was exceptional. Not that you don't have players to replace him. You do. You lost a very good player. You weren't going to pay him. I was okay with them not paying him, but you lost a very good player. And lastly, one name that we didn't mention, my man Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I thought they felt that impact a lot last year at times, especially when Drew Makuba was struggling as a rookie. Then he started playing relatively well, but what happened? Injury. And I know that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson would be out there. That guy also impacts games.
Now back to the show.
All right, that's something we've talked about so far this morning. What will be the bigger impact? The players that the Eagles lost after they won the Super Bowl, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay, versus the players that we've seen leave so far, Reed Blankenship, Jalen Phillips, and Nakobe Dean. Now, John thinks this is like an easy question to answer. I just think you're looking so deep into it, and I don't think you're wrong doing it. I just look at more so the talent of the players that left after the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
I get you. I think that there is a quarterback of the defense, and hearing just even digging up quotes last year from Vic Fangio about Reed Blankenship. what he brings to the table, what he did, the confidence they put in him, and then losing him and Nakobe. And hearing Zach Bond say that, like, there was a reason that Nakobe was the one wearing the green dot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot to lose.
Amy, where would you fall on this? I don't even want to say argument, even though we did it on purpose.
Discussion.
John picked one side,
Sure.
picked the other side.
Yeah.
We did it on purpose because
Right.
of Sports Talk Radio.
You said, "What's the argument?" That's what Connor asks us every morning.
Yeah, he goes, "All right, how are you guys going to disagree today?" And this is what we came up with.
This is what we came up with.
Yeah.
I lean a little bit more towards 2 years ago, only because when you look at last year and the fact they had to go out there on the trade market and find a new edge, convince Brandon Graham to come out of retirement, they needed a little bit more help than they expected. I think they didn't expect that big of a fall off at certain positions. And I agree with your take, John, on Reed Blankenship's importance. I do think his effectiveness was diminished because Gardner Johnson wasn't there with him. I think that they kind of made a good tandem where
his two best years were the 2 years CJ.
There's no
CJ
question
GJ
about
has
that.
a lot more of the finesse to his game, and Reed has a lot more of just the physicality, the brute, right? Which is great, and that's why it worked for them. So I think that his productivity fell off a bit, but I think his value in the locker room is certainly, and Nakobe Dean's is immeasurable in certain aspects. I think he was a very good leader, but I think overall the production on the field, it was more of a drop off from 2 years ago that when you look at it now, you have that perspective. Because at the time, I'd probably been like, no, they're fine. And then you look at it, you're like, maybe not as fine as we thought.
I wonder how Howie would answer that question. And the reason why I say that is you weren't re-signing Josh Sweat because of the money. You weren't re-signing Milton Williams because of the money. The Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you traded him cap casualty. Darius Slay, I don't know why they didn't bring him back. I think they thought they were going to get Isaiah Rodgers, and they didn't. Whereas this group, Jalen Phillips, you weren't going to reach that money.
No.
Got it. They could have paid Reed Blankenship, and they didn't.
I'm shocked at the 8.25.
So what would Howie say? I would imagine Howie saying more 2 years ago, because if Howie could have paid Reed Blankenship, like not if, he could have paid Reed Blankenship, and he didn't.
Right. That number is one of those you looked at, you're like, oh, you could have maybe like that. That could have been something. And then I think that I don't know that they valued him at the degree that they would have made that move. Clearly, I mean, he could have made the move. The move is not, the contract is not one of these.
No,
when you saw Jalen Phillips, you're like, okay,
yeah, you understood
that was
why.
never happening.
Yeah,
okay, they were
even
never
as much as I like him, I wasn't.
Right,
sure.
they were never. They have their priorities. They have a list, I'm sure, in their mind of who their priorities are. And though they enjoy Jalen Phillips, and I'm sure they made a run at him, not $30 million a year run. But I think that maybe down the list too far was Reed Blankenship when they're prioritizing, and then they got down to it, and then he came to them maybe, and it was just like, well, I've got this offer, and they're like, no, we're good.
You just hope
fine.
it doesn't bite you the way the
Right.
Slay Rodgers thing bit you, and that's my concern.
Right, because you're banking on something else.
Like, because I don't know who
I think Drew Makuba is the one that you're really banking on Drew Makuba,
which is scary considering he also has injury
and you're
history.
banking on you are absolutely banking that Jahad Campbell is going to be healthy.
Yeah, which was a real
there.
That was a real eye-opening thing there that
Out of
kind
nowhere,
of
yeah.
dropped the other day.
I said I think the Scotch.
By the way, speaking of that, Jeff McClain did.
Big Van was just like
Loosened it up.
on our air. I was like, did he just?
That
say
was
John
awesome.
Campbell?
Jeff
Perfect.
McClain did some digging on it. He said, I got a little more context on Jahad Campbell's shoulder injury, which Eagles defense coordinator Vic Fangio, put out there with John Clark. He says Campbell dealt with the injury for most of his rookie season despite undergoing surgery before last year's draft. He dropped to the Eagles at 31, partially due to concerns about the shoulder. Campbell still played in every game in his first NFL season. He had another surgery not long after last season ended and is already on the mend per source close to Campbell. He is expected back by training camp and is slated to step into the off-ball linebacker spot left vacant when Nakobe Dean signed with the Raiders. The Eagles still believe that he can flex out to the edge if needed, but that's to be determined. So he got a surgery after the season, and he's on the mend of it. So they're still expecting him to be back by camp. You just hope that this is not a every other year thing.
I think it was
he's
like when
dealing
he
with the
said
shoulder.
it, you were like camp, and I was like, but there's so many things in between now and camp.
But they said, too, he was injured. He had the surgery last year.
Right.
Then he came back, and that he was injured all last year.
Yeah.
So he obviously played, which is maybe
But
that's
that was
a
after
testament
they
to him.
thought they fixed it before the year.
Well, they didn't. he had the surgery before
Yes.
he was an Eagle,
Yes,
right?
but
So
they obviously thought he was fixed and he wasn't, and then
maybe it was just a tweak, or maybe something happened during the
Hopefully.
year. The tweak, yeah, it's just one of those you don't want to have a lingering injury. It was such a nice surprise last year to have some depth at the linebacking position for the first time in God knows how long here in
right.
Philadelphia. So that was kind of a little bit of a blow, but you're hoping that I like that they keep saying like he can come off the edge. He can. Are we
can.
going to see
How,
it?
and how effective? Like,
Are we going
there's-
to let's see
there's
it?
one thing
I
trying.
know he's done it.
We'll see. All right, what's the poll looking like? I know it's probably still standing strong because it does for 4 hours in the morning. And hell, if you need an extra boost, 4 hours in the afternoon as well, thanks to Dr. Avidan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health.
3 hours and 7 minutes worth of standing strong. And our leader right now in the question of which offseason losses will have the bigger impact for the Eagles, 2026, this current offseason, has 57% of the vote. So 43% are saying last year.
I like when the polls are like in that 50-40
Yeah.
range. It's good.
It's good.
It's good. Good job, Connor.
Thank you.
Way you put it out there. Good
Excellent.
job. Good job, Johnny.
Not as
That was,
good-
Johnny,
not-
it was your topic idea.
not
Good
as
job.
not as great as the one you had earlier this week though. Connor had a poll that lasted 4 hours, thanks to Dr. Avidan Appel. 34, 34, 33.
The other
Oh,
day.
wow.
And it was
Is
9:45.
that Wednesday?
And it was 9:45. And it was
Might have
weird,
been-
15 minutes to go on the show,
Yeah.
and it was 34, 34, 33.
Impressive.
Damn
Can't
right,
believe
man.
it.
It's
Oh,
wonderful.
Polsman.
All right. Congratulations to
Then you wouldn't need Dr. Avidan Appel.
Brian in Brookhaven, our latest qualifier. The answer was I didn't know how to word it without giving it away. Knowing which chemicals don't mix. Only 25% of Americans know which chemicals not to mix in a household. Somebody on YouTube specifically said ammonia and bleach, which is like that's the number one thing. I knew that as a kid. Because my mom had straight ammonia for the countertops and straight bleach for the clothing. And she basically sat me down and said, never, not that I was some chemist, but she basically told me never to do this.
Wow. I would not have.
And if you're wondering, like, what ammonia is in, household ammonia is in glass cleaners.
Okay.
And other like cleaners, but that's
So
like
you
the number
can't
one.
have-
It's like a Windex. You would never,
Windex next to what?
probably should not be near bleach.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
those Lysol bleach wipes, don't put them next to your Windex, just in case the off chance.
I got to check that because that might happen in the laundry room. I don't
Well,
know.
and that's where my mom had both, but they were closed and not in a
Right, they're
container.
sealed usually. You know, it's,
Yeah.
you're not
Right,
having
as long
these
as
things
they're
open.
sealed, it's fine.
Sealed, yes,
Right.
but ideally you don't want to have those things near each
How
other.
many people got that on the text line? Did we only have one?
Like one, maybe two.
All right, we had one on YouTube. Did you get random guesses? Because JM, who was one of our qualifiers, still waiting for you to call in, by the way, brother. He said put metal in the microwave.
Yeah, we got some
Oh.
of that. We got a lot of people saying smoking.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Well,
not
that's
supposed-
just a general.
People used to. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
There's
Though?
people that still do.
Because you guys are children. Like it's like you guys are relative children. I grew up in an era where people smoked in their houses.
Yeah.
Well, I
where
can't-
ashtrays on end tables were a thing.
I can't smell. And one time I lit up a cigar after a sports win in a living room that I shared with other people, and they got very upset with me.
I would imagine.
I didn't think. I can't smell.
Was it
I didn't
your
think about
You hotboxed them out.
I opened the window.
Was
Good
it your
Lord.
house?
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh, it was your house.
Yeah, but no.
It's still
Were
ridiculous.
you renting? Because I'm pretty sure
But I
it's
mean,
a violation.
I remember ashtrays being a
Let's
thing
just
on.
say no.
How about people's
No.
kitchen tables?
Oh yeah, the ashtray. Oh yeah,
On the kitchen table.
I remember that at my
Disgusting.
grandparents' house. Yeah,
Oh,
I remember that.
I had a
Awful.
good time.
Yes, they all hated you for it.
exactly.
All right, I'll give you another question coming up in a little bit. But, Amy, the other thing we got into, Chase Utley going into the Wall of Fame for
Yes.
the Philadelphia Phillies.
Second of the 08 guys.
That's good. I'm glad that they're starting to put guys in that, like, should be on it. And
Okay.
it's not just let's have a.
Yeah, we wondered, when they were, because they kind of had their run. They're like, all right, you have to start doing the 08 guys now. And you wondered Jimmy was first, which I think is, pretty
Supposed to
appropriate.
be,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. The guy, as Jimmy went, the Phillies went. But then it was just like, okay, now, but there's going to be just a waterfall now, right? Because
It
you have
is.
Chase, you have Ryan Howard, you have the pitchers. It's going to be good stuff.
I guessed Dan Baker. 'Cause I
Oh.
want Dan Baker in. I want Dan Baker on that wall.
Oh, Dan Baker will go on the wall.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has
but
to.
I
think
want.
you're probably going to put
I
Cole
want
Hamels
these
in
people.
first.
The thing is, so I want these people on the wall when they're here.
Yeah,
to
I got you.
I want Dan on that wall.
Does Dan announce himself?
Oh, I
No,
hope so.
has to be
Please
somebody.
pay attention.
No.
Does he announce?
Now batting for the Phillies.
That would actually be great.
I got to ask one
Now
of these,
entering the wall.
one of these Wall of Fame. I think this is. Go ahead.
Did you hear the poll question yesterday on Unfiltered?
No.
They were debating, is it elected or going on the Wall of Fame or in the Wall of Fame? They actually debated that yesterday because it's on the Wall of Fame.
Of course it is.
It
How do you
is.
go inside a
And
wall?
people were arguing it yesterday that it's in.
I don't know,
and it's
Super
like
Mario, you go through
on
paintings.
the Wall of Fame.
You
Just
true.
saying.
You also
There you
can
go.
turn out to a flamethrower.
Nothing like a good
Big
preposition
Bowser.
argument.
It is. It was good. But look, Dylan McKinnon can find the craziest
Damn
stuff
right
on
he
that show
can.
to debate, which is good.
Should Jim Tomei be on the Phillies Wall of Fame?
No.
Yes, stop
No.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
See, this is a tough one for me.
Absolutely
Because
not.
Jim Tomei ushered in a new era
Correct.
of the Phillies. My dad and I started the
Correct.
17-game plan the second they signed him, right? But Jim Tomei's not
No.
a Philly. Like when I
No.
think of Tomei, I think of Cleveland Indians. Like I don't think of
Play the Sesame Street game with your kids.
Phillies Jim Tomei.
Jim Tomei. It's the Wall of Fame with Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley and Mike Schmidt and Jim Tomei.
Yeah.
One of
that
these
fits.
things is
No.
not like the other.
I don't know.
There's guys on there that you were like, he
Like
had a
Lieberthal.
he had a decent Phillies career, but he was here forever, so we're going to put him on there.
But Jim Tomei.
Jim Tomei had a great career, one of the best hitters.
Well, no, Hall
in
of
baseball.
Famer and legit, right?
There you
No
go.
juicing, like legit.
Great guy,
612
gentleman
home
Jim.
runs.
Put him on the wall.
But he had like 100 here. It's not
Yeah,
like
he had
but he led
100
the
home runs,
majors
right?
one
How many
year
did
as
he
a
have here?
Philly.
he had
105?
101 home runs with the
Okay,
Phillies.
101 home runs. here as a
47,
Philly.
he led the majors in 2003 with.
That's not enough to
I
go
don't
on
know.
the Wall of
That's a
Fame
tough one,
here.
dude.
Fifth of his home run.
And I'm a big Jim Tomei. I wore the number
No.
25 as a kid. Like
No.
I loved him. Like this is kind of
Yes.
hard for me
No, he
to have
can't.
this conversation.
He can't go. He
Yeah,
can't just
yes, he
go
can.
because he was a great player that just stopped here for a cup of coffee.
We're not talking about Pedro Martinez on the wall.
Correct.
Dude, if there's a long time where the Phillies don't have much success, you just wait. Pedro Martinez will get inducted.
Petey!
All right, with all due respect to Manny Trio, like they're gonna find a way to get Pedro Martinez on that wall.
Oh wait a minute, Mike Lieberthal's on the wall.
He is.
I know.
Because he
what I'm
played
saying.
here a really long
They
time.
gave him because it was a really long time. Mike Lieberthal. Nobody watched Mike Lieberthal and said.
So Jim
Wall
Tomei
of
goes
Fame.
on the wall.
No.
Put him on the wall.
Listen to Amy. Amy, I love when
Put him on
Amy's
the wall.
fired up.
Put him on the wall. I love that man.
I
that
love
man
it when
is
Amy
amazing.
gets fired up.
He's the best dude ever.
Well, he said, no. If it's the best dude wall, I heard he's one of the greatest. I've never
They call
spoken
him
to
Gentleman Jim.
Look, if there's a best dude wall, put him on it.
So he had
The Wall of
612 home
Fame?
runs. So a sixth of his home runs came here in Philadelphia. Put him on the wall.
Yeah. There should be a time limit. There should be a time that you have to have served. There should be
What is
certain
it? How
things
many
that-
years
I
then?
don't know. But if for a Wall of Fame for an organization.
3 seasons is not enough for him.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
So, Amy,
101 home runs.
remind us the timeline of when you arrived in the city of
January
Philadelphia.
3rd, January 5th, 2009 was my very first day on air.
All right,
Moved
so
here in
you
December.
just missed the 08
I interviewed
World
actually
Series
during that
team.
time.
But
I was like, this place is great.
it is great. But you spoke
guys
to all
win
those
everything.
players. They were all here
Absolutely,
in
yeah.
09.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. We've been talking about the 08 team because of Chase Utley. And to me, now look, it was my childhood experience. I was at Game 3 of the World Series, so I lived it a lot differently than some other may have. But we're trying to figure out where 08 is in terms of the other all-time likable teams.
It's second to 93, I can tell you that.
It's second to 01 Sixers, I think.
Absolutely.
So now we're talking third. Connor's favorite
The only
all-time
one-
team is the Eagles Super Bowl 52.
Well, that one actually won.
Yeah.
But as far as like when the rankings go, it's almost always behind 2 teams that did not win the championship. Which, as a person, when I first moved here, and I was like, well, what? You guys like the 93 team better? And that was in 09.
And don't just give me the unexpected nature of it, because I don't think anyone expected Cole Hamels leading the charge of Myers, Jamie Moyer, Joe Blanton,
Jamie
Kyle
Moyer.
Kendrick. Like, I don't think anyone going into 08 was like, World Series team. Very fun offense. They won the division by the skin of their teeth the very previous season. But I don't think anyone was looking at that rotation and looking at J.C. Romero being picked up in the middle of the summer as Billy Wagner. Like,
no.
Right.
That to me, that's still an unexpected. Out of that era, the 7 to 11, that was probably the most unexpected bunch to actually have success.
And it was so much fun, and it was an enjoyable. The ballpark was selling out. The atmosphere was amazing. The ballpark was amazing. I just think there's so many. 93 was really a blip. It was such a sudden blip
it
for
was
people.
a blip.
They were terrible in 92. They were terrible
Neil
in
chimes
94,
they went from
95,
worst to
96.
first, yep.
It was a truly like a blip, and it was a ragtag group of. Now listen, there's Hall of Famers on there and guys that are like borderline.
Sure.
Some great players on
Hall
there.
of Very Goods.
Hall of Very Goods. There's a lot of Hall of Very Goods, but they were characters, and they've only grown in that character mold since then.
Right.
And you have a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you got to see. There was the certain kind of like aura around them with Harry being there as well, and I think that there was it's just that people's time in their lives of a certain age, people in their 40s and up, that's their team. Like our girlfriend just texted me and she was like 93 was the best.
Yeah.
It was
She's like
wild.
93 was the best.
It was wild.
They were
it was
also
a wild.
You could
time.
speak to it better than I can. They were also out and about a
Oh
lot.
no, they were
more.
out and about.
Yeah.
And it was.
But see, 08 was out and about.
Well,
I mean,
one guy was.
And don't forget about Pat the
Pat
Bat.
the Bat.
One guy, he hit the quota for the rest of the
There was
team.
other people that were out and about because I saw some of them out and about in 09. They were out and about.
But that was
back when I used to go outside.
Like, think about the likability of those players, right?
Those days.
Chooch, lovable. Ryan Howard, lovable, even though this city had a
Jimmy
weird
Rollins.
relationship with him. Chase Utley, people loved him as playing, not Chase Utley.
But that transferred
the
over.
personality, right?
They didn't care about the personality because they loved the way he played so much.
J-Roll, everybody loved. Pedro, I think, was a guy, even though he was a very talented player, I don't think there was like this connection with Pedro Feliz. But Pat Burrell, people loved. Victorino, people loved.
People love Victorino. Heck, they love Jason Worth.
Jason Worth. I was the only guy that loved Jeff Jenkins, but like everybody
You do,
like
you guy.
with Jason Worth. Like that team was filled with people that you were actually like, I really like these guys.
They liked them. Would they have a beer with them?
It's not the
I would
same.
think so.
One would think. You're
you know what it is what I can and I can see it when he
I know,
talks
it's
about.
my childhood's coming.
It's
out.
his childhood.
Little-
It's like he's
little
like a
Andy.
little kid talking.
Little
that's
Andy's
what
coming out
and that's
here.
what the 93 team, and I just
It's
think we
Andy.
haven't aged enough yet to get there. Because think about it, like the generations to come, they're going to revere these Super Bowl Eagles teams.
Oh my God.
And there's
Yeah.
people that still talk about Buddy Ball as if it was like, oh, you don't understand.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, I do understand, but you've had 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, but like, with Seth Joyner and the way they play the defense, and Randall, I understand it was a very good team, but you like it better than the ones that won the
People
Super
do.
Bowl?
Yeah,
They
all
do.
the Kelly Green jerseys, and now that they're back,
They
maybe
do.
people will like these teams better. All right, here's another question for you as we head to the commercial break here. 35% of Americans say they can definitely do this. I'll word it this way. It's doing something outside of your house, like right on the outside of your house. 35% of Americans say that they can accomplish this. 610-632-0975. It's very vague.
That is
but
as
it's
vague as
it's
it comes.
outside. All right, so it's your property, but it's outside of the house. 35% of Americans say they can definitely do this. Text in the answer that you think is right to 610-632-0975. Now, coming up next, Amy, you weren't here earlier this week for the most insane day of like our careers with everything that went down in the world of sports. Football, basketball, baseball, World Baseball Classic, Mark DeRosa being a moron. A lot went down. He misspoke. Even though he speaks for a living on the MLB Network.
For how much longer?
If you were disgusted by something that happened this week, pick one. You're not going to get an apology from someone about it. You'll hear what coming up next. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, FanDuel Sportsbook. It's March. Oh, I'm sure you're logging on every single day. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, is giving all customers a profit boost every single day through March 15th. From now until that final 68 is revealed, you're getting daily profit boosts for a chance at boosted winnings on your college basketball bets. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single day. Build a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. You could try live betting. I know a lot of you have not watched college basketball all season long, and you are going to now that the conference tournaments are happening and the big dance will happen. Well, what you can do is watch how the game starts, and maybe you'll get a feel for a team, and then you'll go, oh, I could just live bet that squad. Best of all, with FanDuel, when you win, you get paid instantly. So just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. You got to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles keep making moves. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles made some more offseason additions yesterday, going out and signing veteran corner Jonathan Jones to a one-year deal for some depth in the secondary, and also added an edge rusher and 27-year-old Arnold Ebiketie, giving them a little bit more depth there at that position, much needed with the departure of Jalen Phillips. Internally, they restructured the contract of Landon Dickerson, re-signed punter Braden Mann to a 4-year, $14 million deal. So Howie was busy. He was busy earlier this week, too, signing Reek Woolen from the Seahawks, who met with media yesterday and talked about the passion he plays with and why Philadelphia should love that.
I like to go out there, have swagger. I got to have passion. God didn't make me to be a quiet person. God made me to go show off my abilities and play with passion and enthusiasm. And to fit in a culture where a lot of players do play with passion and enthusiasm is going to be a lot of fun.
We'll keep an eye on the Eagles as free agency continues. Flyers took down the Wild 3-2 last night via the shootout. Sixers fell to the Pistons 109-131. Union take on Atlanta tomorrow, both looking for their first MLS win. And the Phillies announced yesterday that Chase Utley will be their Wall of Fame inductee for 2026. Team USA takes on Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic elimination game tonight at 8. This update is brought to you by TireRack.com. Rain or shine, drive with confidence on Verdestin Tires from Tire Rack. Verdestin Tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Ship fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. Visit TireRack.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
The final hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, it's 9:30 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We got some good text messages, Connor says. We'll get to those in a second. We also will give you the latest qualifier for the latest question we asked you. 35% of Americans say they can definitely do this. It's something outside of your house on your property. The answer is grow a vegetable garden or any garden. We'll just say any garden. But only 35%.
That surprises me because it's not hard.
Now, maybe they're saying 35% grow it and it actually sustains. Because, anyone could plant seeds and then it not grow. There's people like my mom who, it's a damn farmer's market outside her house.
Yeah. They're locked in.
I admire this people who can do that. I really admire it.
My mom makes her own sauces.
People enjoy
all this
it.
stuff.
I think it's very relaxing for them, whether it's a very substantial flower garden or I grew up with my grandparents having a pretty substantial vegetable garden in their backyard. And it wasn't a farm. It was just like a normal house, and you just go in the backyard. And they had a couple of fruit trees and legitimate
You're talking about potatoes.
Potatoes and
That's awesome.
tomatoes.
Now they did not have
beans.
We found out that we have animals that have burrowed in our yard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you had to be vigilant about that stuff. I'm sure my
I've
grandfather
never heard of the animal though, but till yesterday.
You heard the animal?
A vole.
Oh, you never heard of a vole?
What's a vole?
Oh, it's like
I've never heard of it either.
Little vermin, John.
Yeah, it's it's basically like it's a vermin, obviously, but it's an underground, like a mole, but it's a little bit more, it's smaller and it's more predatory. It's like if a rabbit could bury itself underneath to get your crops.
Really? So like a vole is bad.
It looks like a mouse.
Yeah, it's really small.
We have
That's why
voles.
it's not like people think it's a mole. It's smaller than
We
a
have
mole.
voles underneath have burrowed their way underneath the front steps.
Yeah, they're a problem. It's really small.
Well, you know what?
You have to put these little spikes in.
Warrior Indoor Outdoors taking
hell
care
yeah,
of it.
Hell yeah, they will.
Yeah.
That's a fun word for people that do crossword puzzles. Vole is a fun word.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you get the
VOLE, vole.
Two vowels.
All right, Amy, so
Or that's Scrabble. Yeah.
you unfortunately were under the weather
Yes.
on Tuesday, and you could not come in. Oh, wait, no, so it would have been Wednesday anyway. But Tuesday was the crazy day in sports where you had the Max Crosby trade go away, Mark DeRosa misspeaks, and you also had Bam Adebayo drop 83 points. First and foremost, your thoughts on Bam's historic night?
I'm torn because 83 is 83. And at the end of the day, in 30 years, people are not going to remember that his team was fouling up 25 with 4 minutes to go.
Internet lives forever, Amy.
It does. But when you're talking about it, it will go Wilt, Bam, Kobe, Wilt. I had a problem with the style of which. I didn't have a problem if he just let it be. 75 points, he probably
Congratulations.
That would have been amazing.
I said when we first started talking about it, the shame of what this conversation will turn into is not the fact that he, at one point,
he had 31 in the first quarter.
Yeah, his game was tremendous.
He was going to be on a tear. He was going to get 70 to 75 legitimately, no problem. And I don't have any issue with people feeding a guy. If you get a rebound, you feed him immediately. I do have an issue fouling when you're up 25 points.
It's embarrassing.
That's not basketball. And so, but then I also have an issue is it my room? Am I here? I can commentate on it, but I think it's weird that there's other people being other basketball players. Well, he shouldn't have done that. Kelly Oubre misspoke when he said Joel did it in 3 quarters. He didn't.
But he did it efficiently.
It was exceptionally efficient, and I will give him that.
Well, how it's going to be remembered.
And they could have fouled to keep Joel going,
Well,
too.
when you say how it's going to be remembered, I would ask you this. Who's the all-time home run king?
So who do you recognize? I don't recognize. I don't recognize him.
That's what I'm saying. You don't recognize it because you consider it fraudulent.
I consider it fraudulent because he openly cheated. This isn't cheating. It's just a bad version of basketball.
I think people are always going to when it comes up.
If you played the game the real way, let's say Barry Bonds played the game the real way, which was not
which he
putting
did for a little bit.
A needle in him.
Yeah, he did. He won 2 MVPs before he ever cheated.
Right.
3.
If the Heat played the game the real way, he would not have gotten 83 points.
Correct.
So Eric Spoelstra, they played yesterday, and of course he was asked about it. Quote, I apologize
To absolutely no
absolutely
one. Give me that
no
Conor McGregor.
one. Period. He then continues. He said, there was a moment, and when there's a moment in time like that, it's carpe diem. Seize the day. You have to go for it, and that was just thrilling. And I'm honored that we were able to all be a part of it. I'm on now. I'm
Such a
saying
con
my own.
man.
I'm honored to have disgraced the game of basketball. The final 2 minutes of that game.
To me, it's like Spoelstra is and will forever be known as one of the best coaches in NBA basketball. There's just no doubt about it. It took a ding right there for him to like double down on that. I'm like, oh, I get it. You wanted to get your guy that. You wanted him to have history. You got to do it in a better way. You can't be fouling up 3. Be more creative about it.
Yeah.
I think Mark DeRosa wrote that answer for me.
Yeah, probably.
Mark DeRosa doesn't know what day it is.
Does
he know it's single elimination from here on out?
I sure hope so.
It should be printed on every single piece of paper
Clayton
in the
Kershaw's
clubhouse.
not starting tonight.
I think with them playing.
When they saw Clayton Kershaw went up, and then all of a sudden it was like the phone call, like, put Mason Miller up.
By the way, did you? Because I wasn't around and saw when Clayton Kershaw, because I was on vacation. Then I watched the video of it. Clayton Kershaw's enjoying retirement.
Yeah, good
He
for
was
him.
enjoying last season. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was.
He was out there in the bullpen half the time,
I guess not
wearing
not a
shoes.
lot of gym days.
Why
Going
not?
Did you see him at the end of last year?
Well, he wasn't this big.
Yeah, he was.
No, I mean he looked bigger.
You should look at the celebration. Go back and look at the celebration of when they won it.
Listen, man, you train every day
looks,
for
come on
years.
He is enjoying himself.
Good for him, dude. I'm
really enjoying it.
All right,
looks great.
what do we got on the text
like he's
line this morning, Connor?
He looks happy.
We have people checking in on our overall conversation about which offseason is going to be the bigger losses. And we have 2 folks on either side of the aisle. This texter says, I think losing the players last season was more significant, but I do think Reed Blankenship was probably one of the biggest losses we've had in the last 2 years because we don't have another sure tackling machine like he was.
It's just also the uncertainty. Look, they could make a trade, and all of a sudden we go, oh, wow, he's a better player than Reed Blankenship. And that could happen relatively quick, right? Like, right now, you're basing your opinion off of what you don't know, and what you don't know is who that other safety is for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And that's a big That's a big thing.
Yeah. I'm saying, what if they make a trade in the next week or two? Then that'll change.
Oh no! I got you.
Everything.
But the thing is, we're unfortunately, not unfortunately, you're doing a show on April the 13th.
Right.
So we got to talk about
March
the team on it March 13th.
Listen, man, my trip has not happened yet.
Listen,
Please
do not fast forward it.
Please.
Yes. There we go.
God. All right, what else you got?
This texter's on the other side. They say it's got to be the players that left this offseason. Dean, his replacement Campbell with the lingering shoulder issues. Reed Blankenship is a big loss. I don't even know who the replacement is there. And if they lose Dallas, I don't know anybody that can replace his production from last season.
They're not losing. Dallas got it.
So you do believe that's a done deal?
I mean, I think that the reason you move that back is so you can get that done.
So do I. But I'm surprised that it's 9:38 and we haven't heard you.
By the way, I have been trying to. I've read multiple articles during breaks because people on YouTube were,
but yes,
were
if
trying
they
to
lose
figure out.
Dallas, it would be huge. Goddard.
Is it? I still can't find anywhere. Not a single reporter has put out a time of when it has to happen by.
I thought it was 6.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought they had said 6. I thought. Now I could be speaking out of turn, but for some reason 6 p.m. sticks in my mind.
Okay. Well, maybe it's 6 p.m.
So I don't know if Bill and Ricky just set it up that way or whatever.
Because remember, it was midnight Wednesday. Now, is it midnight like, hey, happy Friday? Or is it midnight like it's Saturday morning now?
It can't be midnight. It couldn't have been midnight because yesterday we found out that they extended it. We would have known because yesterday, Thursday morning, we would have talking about him being a free
maybe
agent.
it's midnight tonight. Maybe it's something like that.
Could be.
Bottom line is I hope they get it done. All right, what else we got on the text line?
All right, we also have a texter who's a little worried. We talked yesterday about the splash moves conversation and whether or not the Eagles need to make them. This texter, Steve, says the Eagles' collection of defensive ends has to be bottom 5 in the NFL. They must trade up in this draft to draft the best D end in the first round.
Okay.
You guys feel that way?
First round? No, offensive tackle.
I'm just saying bottom 5 in the NFL. I don't feel like
I don't believe they're bottom 5. I don't think that's close.
They need an offensive tackle. They need an offensive guard.
Need bottom 5. Oh, that seems really low.
No,
I don't think that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
I get that there's concern there, but I don't think it's that concerning.
Appreciate
bottom
the
5.
Yeah, Titans exist. Jets exist.
All right, I'm going to give you some of these other percentage things. We'll announce our winner on the other side. Also, Ask Me Amy thing. Amy came in a little bit later today, so I need your help today, people. Start texting in questions now, 610-632-0975, or YouTube. Put questions in the YouTube chat. Any question for Amy Fadul that you can think of, Ask Me Amy thing, happens in the next segment. So you got to do it now, not 20 minutes from now, not 30 minutes from now. Now. All right, let's go. 610-632-0975.
Pre-selection Sunday college basketball tournament question.
Maybe.
Chatter.
Who knows? All right, 55% of Americans claim that they know how to clean and care for a wound. I would hope more people.
I would hope that would be the case too.
Is this like
This is like
what kind of poll
dumb are
is
people?
happening?
This was a survey that was
Yeah,
done.
survey says. I love it. Survey says.
45% of people can definitely make sense of nutrition labels.
Okay.
30%
That
say
says a lot, doesn't it? That's not higher.
Yeah. 30% say they know what yeast does in baking bread.
Yes.
Yeah. Only 30?
30%?
Only
on.
30.
I'm telling you, this is a
we got to put home ec back
This
in
is
schools.
staggering. Yeah, this is a staggering study. I got to tell
Now,
you.
I will say this one's higher than I would think. 20% of Americans say they definitely know how to weatherproof their doors and windows.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even have an idea about what that means. Is it to put the weather stripping on?
I don't know. But I feel like that's something I would call somebody for that.
I would call somebody for that. That's a TaskRabbit. I heard John the other day, John and Sean talking about it. They were like, what do you do with a TaskRabbit? Like something like that. Just call TaskRabbit. Have somebody do
Is
it
that
for
like
you.
a thing?
Yeah, it's
like an app.
It's an app that you say there's some job you have around the house.
Oh,
There's a
talking about the
couple.
IKEA?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
People that put together furniture for you.
Well, I
or-
would say just don't buy that.
Well,
You can't put it together.
I had some solid stuff.
But if you can't put it together, don't buy it.
Good point. All right, coming up next, we will announce today's winner for the pair of tickets for the Sixers-Bulls game and the Spot and Knockout. We will also do Ask Me Amy thing. I've already seen a couple of questions on our YouTube chat. Can you please text them in as well so Connor can get those? 610-632-0975. Any question that you have, Amy will answer them to the best of her ability, either life or
death.
Anything.
Yeah.
Or death.
Yes.
We'll do that next
Alpha
year on
to
Kincade
Omega.
Salciunas,
Cover it all.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Championship week is on, and men's college basketball's conference championship games starting at 11:30 this morning. That's awesome. Until late night. You got the SEC, the Big East, the Big 12, the ACC. Get on in. St. Joe's plays Davidson tonight at 7:30 in the A-10 tournament game. Look, it's time to play. Make your downtime fun time on the only online casino, the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app. I love it. There's always another way to win. Right now, new casino users can get 250 bonus spins on the hot online slot game, Gold Trio Leprechaun's Luck. Plus, up to $1,000 in bonus back in your first 24 hours. You got to check out the website for terms and details. It is so much fun playing real casino games for real money or betting on the games. If you're so interested and you want to get in on some of those too. You got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Then check it on out. Casino bonus must be wagered. Should you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
5, the Fanatic. We need a winner. The latest qualifier was John Vafiadis.
Easy for you to say.
Vafiadis. That was our latest qualifier. So we will announce our winner momentarily. Again, today we've been giving random percentages of what Americans claim they definitely can do. The concerning thing is the low percentages of these things, because we're wondering why a lot of people can't do other things. And we now have our winner, thanks to the wheel that is spun in the back by Sean Rodman, Anthony Mooney from Warrington. Congratulations to Anthony. You win the pair of tickets. Sixers, Bulls, March 25th. Spot and knockout as well. But
Anthony Mooney.
Anthony Mooney. Darnell Mooney. That.
All the Moonies.
We do this every single Friday at this time. It is time now for Ask Me Anything.
Now, it's time for...
What else you need to know?
Ask Me Anything?
Would you like to know more?
No. Ask me anything.
All right, Connor, let me know what we have on the text line. I'll start with something on YouTube because it's very specific for Amy. The great Kentucky grad that you are. They are wondering if you enjoyed Kentucky hot browns.
Oh.
Delicious.
Never heard of
my
said
goodness.
item.
Do you like cheese and meat?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, then there it is.
There you go.
A hot brown is a decadent open-faced sandwich featuring thick
Decadent is
toast,
right.
roasted turkey,
You need a
bacon, creamy Mornay cheese
Yes,
sauce,
like a really creamy-
broiled until bubbly. Yes,
That sounds
I am
awesome.
in on
The best one, if anybody goes to Lexington, Ramsey's. Ramsey's has the best Kentucky hot brown. There's a bunch of them. It's very, very famous there. It's like getting a mint julep.
Here, like people would, they're competing.
Yeah, I mean,
places.
it's not that.
Competing
Yes.
place.
That was
But
from Andrew on our YouTube chat. Is
Hot
that
browns are the-
something, let me ask you, people laugh when there's a cheesesteak in Florida. They go, oh, you can't go to the Philly cheesesteak. If somebody did a Kentucky hot brown in Philadelphia, your thoughts?
It'd be fine. It's literally just bread,
It's delicious,
meat,
though.
bacon, and cheese.
Yeah, but it's got to be done right.
Yes, I mean,
And it's gotta
obviously
be
you
done
have to
crispy.
The more sauce, the cheese sauce on top has to be good. But I mean, it's not as, I don't know, proprietary as a cheesesteak.
My thing with the cheesesteak outside
people
of Philly,
are kinder there.
it's when people put like the green
The green onions
and you're
in
like,
it.
like that. Don't
Or the green peppers, I
that's
mean.
not a thing.
It's
Don't-
not a thing.
Don't call it that.
Correct.
No,
All right, what do we got on the
And
text?
don't call it a Philly.
but it's everyone should get it. Kentucky hot brown. Delicious.
Karate Mark checks in, wants to know, Amy, ice cream or water ice?
Oh, water ice. But that's if I'm at the ballpark, it's ice cream for sure, without question.
Really?
Yeah. It's a little helmet. I'm a sucker for a little mini helmet. We have 1,000 of those
I'm sure
at
you
our house.
do. Yeah,
Because I have to get one.
We have a
and
couple
boys
of
have to get
those.
one. And, but yeah, no. If I'm like just if it's a hot day out in the city, a water ice for sure. Mango,
Okay.
very specific.
Mango.
Mango.
Similar mango. Love.
Mango.
Tommy John wants to know, Amy, who is the most annoying person to work with at NBC, and why is it Ricky Bo?
Oh no, it's it could never be Ricky Bo. He's great. Ricky is a joy to be around,
And you will
and
plead the fifth to answer the rest of the question.
there is no one annoying.
JM wants to know, what's your favorite sport to cover?
Yeah, I get this question every now and again, like if I go out and speak at groups, and it's just there really isn't a right answer for me because it's everything. There's a reason I do this. It's because I truly love sports. But to cover them, I mean, I love covering football. I love covering basketball, and I love covering baseball, and I love covering the hockey players. So these are great things that I get to do. So the answer is yes.
Okay. What do we got on the text line?
Mike in Turnersville wants to know, Amy, would you put Miami, Ohio in the tournament now that they lost in their conference tournament?
Yes, put them in the tournament. I get it. People think the undefeated record was inflated, but they tried to play teams. They were not able to. I know that
teams ducked them.
Yeah, listen, I get it. You're a mid-major, but I feel like we've gotten so far away from what college basketball is supposed to be like. Not letting them in would just be feeding into the nonsense. And so I say let them in.
Connor, $1 million if you could tell me the mascot of the team they got their second win against this year, the Trinity Christian College
Friars.
Trolls.
Yes, it definitely used to be something else.
Trinity Christian College.
Yeah, they had to change the
Trolls.
name, right?
Miami won that night 129-49.
That's a tight game there.
What's next?
Just barely covered. Question for Amy. Mayo on a cheesesteak, fair or foul?
No.
Oh, jeez. Who's putting mayo on a cheesesteak?
Some people do.
That's a hoagie.
I've had it on the
That is
cheesesteak
a hoagie.
That's a hoagie.
I've
A
had it on the
cheesesteak
cheesesteak
hoagie has
Yeah.
lettuce and tomato on it.
Yes.
And there you go. Mayo could be a vehicle for that. But
by
that
the
is
way-
I just, mm-mm.
A cheesesteak hoagie isn't a.
It's a
isn't
cheesesteak hoagie. It's a hoagie.
It's a hoagie. It's
On a
not
traditional cheesesteak,
And a chicken cheesesteak
it's
is not a
either
cheesesteak.
with onions or
You have to
without.
ask the semantics
That's it.
question.
There it is.
Really?
There it is.
Well,
No.
this next one's going to be tougher. We're putting you to work, Amy. This
What is
texter wants to know, what's your batting lineup for the Phils?
Oh. Really, like you want to know the order of where I'm putting Bryce Harper? I think
I'd say we just
probably
go
it.
through the top 5.
Kyle
Yeah.
Schwarber's batting leadoff, clearly.
Yeah, no.
No.
Not happening. Thanks, Andrew.
Otto Kemp 4-hole.
Sure. We're just like living in La La Land. No, I have Trey Turner. I would prefer Bryce Harper bat second instead of third. Then I have the big Schwarber, and then boom. That's who I have the top 4.
And then whoever shows up.
And then
whoever shows
whoever
up.
wants to.
It's the T-ball lineup. It's all right. Timmy showed up first, so he's batting
Cool,
lineup
cool,
today.
cool.
Chris
Oh.
came up second today,
Yep.
so he's batting
There
second.
you go.
Thank you, Connor. Good job. Thank you,
Good job,
Amy.
Connor. I think some
Don't
good,
thank
good
me, thank
questions for
Amy.
the people.
Yeah, good.
And our
Thank you,
listeners.
everybody.
Good questions
Thanks.
for the listeners.
By the way, speaking of T-ball, I'm gonna be in tears, man.
Why?
Year 1.
You having the first one?
Yeah, year 1 at
So
T-ball.
much fun.
It's been my sport my whole life. Now I'm gonna watch Coop. We were doing BP in the outside when it was beautiful out.
Now
we were doing some BP.
Oh, it was. It was lovely out 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Boys had baseball practice outside for us.
Yeah, and now
the
we're
next day
back
it
to
snowed.
hating our lives.
And then it snowed.
And I was miserable for literally. I hated my life yesterday. Like I was in the car. I'm going to Florida next month, and my parents are going too. And I literally called my dad, and I was like, "My dad's retired, and he's just sitting around doing nothing." I'm like, "Yo, Dad, you want to talk about the trip?" Because like I literally am staring at
snow.
So I can't.
And you're
I
so
couldn't.
excited for your trip.
No, I'm
which is
excited for
gonna
my
be awesome.
trip, but like I can't do it again. Like we got into a conversation about seasonal depression recently.
Yes.
Like
this year.
we
this
both
year's been
had
hard,
the-
dude.
This year was harder than most.
Like I've hated it.
Yeah, the fake spring hit real hard. Fake spring hits hard every year, but this year fake spring really, because we always have fake spring and winter part 2.
Yeah.
But this year it was such a tease of having multiple days where you saw the sun, you felt it on your skin and it was warm, and then the next day.
I like winter part 2. I didn't even. I've always. I mean, the fake spring.
You know it.
That's excellent.
Winter part 2.
Wait for the
We're in it.
pollinating.
By the way, Dawood wants to know, Chunas, I thought you frowned upon T-ball. I refuse to coach T-ball.
Good.
T-ball is important.
We do T-ball and quickball.
It's
By the way,
the
though,
beginning
it
of hand to bat
Now-
the ball.
You guys don't
now
do
here's
quickball?
the thing is that that's also though a generational thing is that we never did T-ball.
Yeah.
Now-
we never did that.
We do T-ball and quickball.
No,
And now
Coop's going
they
to
do
play.
all that
I'm
stuff.
just not going to coach. Like Chris
Good.
is like they're asking for coaches. I was like, no.
It's more rewarding than you think.
I'll do it.
Andrew, I think you could. You want to really have a fun day.
It's like later
Sometimes.
on it gets a little bit annoying. T-ball is still fun.
It is so much fun.
We coach Shawnee's T-ball team.
We'll go over to the West Goshen Park
I'll bring the orange slice.
sometimes, and we'll walk at the West Goshen
Oh,
Park.
yeah.
And then go sit in the stand
Watch a little Little
and
League.
watch T-ball practice.
Oh, it's I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it's
It
hilarious.
is
It's like herding
hilarious,
cats.
and it is fun, and the kids are having a blast. And you got one kid sitting. Like,
Oh,
just sits
there's always a
down.
kid that's in the. That's what we do T-ball, but we also have quickball out by us, and that's a little bit more interactive and keeps the kids a little bit more
I'm
engaged.
sure. Oh,
Then
yeah.
you see, I can
But we
identify.
do still do T-ball too.
As a former high school coach I can always identify that parent's going to be a problem. That parent's going to be a problem.
I
They're going
found
to be
out
an a-hole.
it's always been known as the Trolls.
Oh, they've
How
always
about
been the
that?
trolls.
1959.
That's
You could
strange.
have won $1 million.
historic
You could
name.
have won $1 million. All right,
won.
everybody have a great
Thanks,
rest of your
everyone.
day. Middays with Marks next. We'll talk to you Monday.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports.